Welcome everyone to another session of Crituitous Roleplay. Previously, you had made your way to the Oracle within the Eye of the Allfather. Together with Harshnag, you had solved the puzzle necessary to gain access to the Oracle, and there you were able to pose your questions. Briefly before questioning the Oracle, you met the ghost of a frost giant who was betrayed by his father. He offered you his armor and a special opal, which Owen now holds, but asked that you would take it upon yourself to avenge him by killing his father. But the whereabouts of this man you did not know. You do not know. After posing plenty of questions to the Oracle, you all found more confirmation about the situation and how it can be solved. You know that King Hecaton has gone missing, and the answer to finding him and saving him lies within his court with his youngest child, Sarissa. But before you could get access to the court of King Hecaton, by which you would have to acquire a conch of the Storm Giant King, you were tasked by the Oracle to go and collect some relics. Relics from some Uthgard barbarian burial mounds. So that's where you went. You set off in search of some Uthgard barbarian burial mounds. Upon leaving the Eye of the Allfather, you found an airship waiting for you, ready to take you wherever you needed to go. The airship occupants informed you that they were the servants of a great ancient dragon named Klauth, the great red dragon of the north. He encourages your fight against the giants and wishes to aid you. With that, he has instructed his men to take you all back to his home so that he can thank you personally once your task is done. But until that point, the airship is yours to command, and they will follow your orders as long as it doesn't counteract the actions and the designs of the dragon cult that worship Klauth. With the airship, you went straight to the nearest burial mound and quickly managed to recover the first of many relics that you could encounter. It was a frost giant shield that appeared to be made out of copper with dragon scales attached to it. You then got back into the airship and started flying off towards Raven Rock, one of the burial mounds, and Bryn Shander, which Gideon had discovered certain individuals of his past may be hiding out. So, you find yourselves on top of the airship, flying hundreds of feet above the mountain tops. Clouds have gathered, the day is moving on, and the sun is beginning to set behind some of the mountains. What would you guys like to be doing?
You described these, the crew of the ship, as essentially dressed the same, and all but the captain wearing masks concealing their faces. Is that right?
All of them, including the captain,
wearing
masks.
Okay.
But you find, after spending a little bit of time with them, especially a day or so, that you're able to determine which one's which, partly because of the tasks that they do. Obviously, the first mate, Laz, is the only one that holds the helm. The captain, who is Brassic, he tends to walk around with an air of authority and command, so you can easily pick him out. And the rest, by the various tasks, you're able to figure out who's who and tell them apart, even though essentially they're all dressed and look the same.
They look the same, including their hair color and their heights and their girths?
No, that's how they're ever so slightly different in that regard. You don't really see any hair because the dragon masks cover everything, but you can see the bottom jaw, their heights, their sizes. The way they walk is slightly different. That's how you can differentiate.
Cool.
If I were casually observing the folks walking about the ship, could I get a sense of the folks that were more athletically gifted than the others?
Yeah, so those who appear to be more strength-based characters tend to work below deck, working on the pedals that help guide the ship's direction. Those that work above deck, because of the way they have to work with the harpoon at the front, the ballista at the back, and the various ropes and things that are holding onto the balloon, with the various different tasks that they have on top, the ability to be nimble and dexterous is encouraged. So those are more the dexterous individuals.
Do we get a sense of which ones are more well-spoken than the others, suggesting formal education?
None of them appear to have had any sort of formal education. They rarely speak, though when they do speak, it's very simple, basic words and sentences, nothing high to do. Nothing highborn.
Merely general curiosity. No particular reason I'd want to know any of these things.
Gideon, meanwhile, is going to be wandering around the ship. He's going to be looking for the Drow priestess he's seen around earlier.
As in Aluste?
Yes.
Yes. She will tend to be following Lael everywhere.
Is she going to be above deck, below deck, Leone? Any ideas?
Yes, she's below deck.
So Gideon's going to make his way below deck, trying to find locating the pair. He's going to incline his head to each. There is something I would ask of you, child.
Both drow women look at you, because obviously you've used the word child. They look at each other. And Lael turns to you, she's like, who are you talking to?
I suppose it depends which one of you feels more authoritative on this goddess of yours.
Lael instantly points to Elise.
You are a priestess of some nature?
I'm a priestess of Illustrae, yes.
I seek to know more of this goddess of yours. She sounds rather similar to ones I have known before.
What you wish to know of her?
I suspect I may know of her already. Just in different guise.
Elise looks at Lael, like, confused. She's like, I do not understand what you mean.
Where I come from, there are beings, from what your friend here has discussed, sound rather similar to this Illustrae that you serve. I simply wish to see if this is true.
Then I will do my best to answer it.
She is the goddess of the moon.
She goes by many names, but the moon is mostly her symbol, but she derives in joy, beauty, dance, and of course hunting as well. That's another one. Sword work.
Then I am confused, child. He sort of gives a questioning look towards Lael, and then back to the priestess. I do not know if this child has spoken of it to you, but when we were in the lair of the Magi, your friend removed her helmet. It startled the one called Owen. He seemed to think your people were evil, and yet your goddess does not seem so. How can this be?
That is a very, very long tale. We are drow. However, many years ago, we were known as the Lithiri, the Dark Elves, so to speak. We lived within the drow pantheon, and there was an uprising by the Weaver, who we now call the Tyrant Poisoner. She decided that she wanted power for herself, and with a chosen few, she created civil war among the elven people. The Weaver's daughter, Illustrae, was also the daughter of the elven kin, siding with her mother because her mother is a terrible liar and poisons all that she touches. Tricked her daughter to siding against her father in the great battle, and when it all came to light, Illustrae nearly killed her father before she knew that she had been tricked. For our punishment, we were banished from the surface world, that Illustrae was forgiven, and she was told that she can remain, but because she knew her mother's wickedness would corrupt her people, she too decided to be banished from the surface. And so over time, the Ilithari left our name and we took the name Drow, for it is very close to an elven word which means traitor.
I see. And he gives a soft smile at that. We share more than you realize, I would suspect. There was too a great sundering amongst those I once called brothers and sisters. I find it pitiful then that all Drow now viewed as evil.
Pretty much, but if you meet any Drow that are not aligned with Illustrae, you would possibly think the same of them.
Just get the time in the company of those that are not.
Okay. Anything else you guys are doing while traveling along?
What day are we on of the 3-day travel?
So you're still on the first day.
Oh, okay.
I would like to play dice with Randall.
Loag's working on getting tipsy.
Tipsy, as in drunk?
Not drunk. Just a buzz, you know?
Just a little buzz. Fair enough. There is plenty of supplies within the store, and you're welcome to help yourself, though they do eye you up a little bit as if you drink a bit much. These are seafaring folk, technically. So, Wave is having a wonderful time, by the way, Loic. And he is constantly just talking to you, not to anyone else, because he's gotten the idea that he's a little annoying. But he's constantly just telling you some wonderful experiences he had out on the open seas. This is just like that moment when I did this, or just when I did that. And he seems very giddy and excited by it.
Cool. If Gamel's not clutching onto Whelm at the moment, which I'm assuming he's still doubled over and reeling in nausea, I'll probably go hang out with Whelm and Wave and drink. And that'll be what Loic's up to.
Cool. All right, so as the day is moving on and you're going over through the mountains, all the men switch shifts. Some of them bed down for the evening, while some are getting up to start work. The sun begins to crest down, casting a beautiful shadow of the ship up against the clouds behind. And as the shadow is moving ever so slightly, you catch a glimpse, well, not a glimpse, but you see that the clouds are starting to gather up together and closer towards everything. I need those who are up on the upper deck as the night goes down to make perception checks. Taman, with the weapon of warning in hand and keeping an eye on things, and along with Eren with Black Razor in hand, or well, on your sheath, you both get a sense of unease. Something is on its way. Taman, looking back behind him, he sees that the clouds are shifting in a little unnatural manner. There are some parts of the clouds that are moving against the current of the wind. As you follow them, you see they start to descend ever so slightly, and you see feet cresting, like on top of a cloud, below the layer of cloud in the sky. As the cloud begins to descend, you see more and more of this giant figure astride a huge cloud, riding straight towards you. He's then followed by two more that lower down and start following the ship.
Oi, Brasek, what's that over there? That looks dangerous.
Do we know these are cloud giants?
Well, for one thing, the natural physicality of them, they are giants. And as they
clouds.
They're riding clouds. And as they get down to the point where their entire body is below the cloud level and moving towards you, you can catch smaller hints, like instead of hair, each of these has just a small tuft of cloud just flowing in the wind coming off of their heads. Their clothing is a very light blue tint to it, and it seems to just be made to easily flow through the air as they're moving towards you.
How far, roughly, distance-wise, are they?
At the moment, they're about 60 foot away, because that's the radius.
They're not far at all, then.
No.
Aaron's going to ring the bell. There's a bell on a ship. There's always a bell on a ship. He's going to ring the bell to alert, there's an attack. They seem aware of this, don't they?
They seem heading right towards you.
Right, so, the bell.
Taman, to answer your question, Brassic turns, looks, and just says, looks like giant folk. And giants need to die. So let's man the battle stations. Everyone get ready. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
Can Owen jump on the ballista, or is it occupied? The harpoon, sorry.
So the harpoon at the front has someone manning it, or next to it, so they'll man it if you need to. But there is a ballista on the back that either the first mate or someone back there can freely work with.
I just wonder if Owen could just jump on the harpoon gun for a shot or two.
You can if you want.
Yes.
Does Owen have proficiency in harpoon guns?
Gotta start somewhere.
I don't think Owen has proficiency in heavy harpoons.
It's as long as somebody loads it for him, it'll be all right. He just needs to aim.
What's your actual weapon proficiencies?
Martial, I believe. Yeah.
This is classed as a siege weapon. In terms of proficiency, you can't add your proficiency bonus to it.
Can you actually specialise in that?
If you wanted to, you could.
Okay, no, I mean just like from picking any classes or backgrounds or whatnot.
Not standard. Because standard, you shouldn't have siege weaponry, I don't think.
I think there's a background that has siege weapons. I can't recall which one it is.
I mean, I think soldier, that counts as vehicle, yeah.
There's sort of advanced backgrounds that might have it. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Well,
Aaron,
yeah, go ahead.
How does one get up to the crow's nest?
You have to climb up a rope ladder. It's not so much a ladder as it is a rope with knots on it that you would have to move up. The actual distance from the deck up over the balloon to the crow's nest is about 60 foot climb. It's a huge air balloon. Wait, no. It's a 45 foot. Yeah, so it is about 60 foot to climb up and get up onto it. So it's
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
So, our description of the ship, have we got portholes on the midsection?
The lower deck don't have any... you do have some windows, but there's nothing like on them. No weaponry mounted to them. No cannons or anything like that.
I'm just like in a sense that we might be safer shooting from portholes than we would be standing on deck ready to get hit if we were to be attacked. Could we shoot from portholes?
Alright, then if everyone's ready, everyone else that's under the deck, you hear the ringing, and that's when you kick into action. The dragon cultists don't seem to be moving from their position. They seem to be assuming and leaving you guys to the defense of the ship. But, top of the round, as the giants are floating in, Erin, what are you doing?
I'm not sure. So, is it dusk or is it evening?
The sun is setting.
So it's just dusk.
Yeah, dusk.
I don't know if they're going to attack or not.
Dude, you got a bow.
I've got a bow. I
use it.
Who says they're going to attack us? We're
We've
making
just got into initiative.
That's
That's a good start.
We'll ignore the initiative because initiative is as much a tracker of combat as it is just the order of people doing things just generally. Okay?
Aaron doesn't.
If you don't think they're going to attack, you can always hold your action.
We're going into defensive.
Yeah.
At the moment, Aaron doesn't know if they're going to attack or not, if we should take the first shot, or if this is, because what have we got here? One big... How many cloud giants are we talking?
3 cloud giants, all descended down upon you. They're heading towards you very quickly. You kick into action, your adrenaline kicks in, and you need to start preparing for whatever is happening. Whether it is just talks or combat, it's best to prepare.
Aaron will draw the bow and use bonus action to Hunter's Mark the lead giant.
Cool.
Not knowing where they are, and then I'll hold my action. If they look aggressive, if they look like they're going to attack, I'm going. Or if anybody else is going to start shooting, then I'll carry on shooting with them. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for something to initiate before I make.
Fair enough. Yep. Owen.
Hey, Owen.
What do you do as they approach?
Owen's going to use his bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark.
On which one?
The one nearest, as soon as one at the head, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. They cast it on him. And quick as a flash, he's going to loose off a shot.
Okay, so you fire first. Go ahead and fire.
Yeah.
Okay, you fire your shot. It flies through the air. Caught a little bit on the wind, it moves ever so slightly, but it does catch its mark.
I get an extra d6 for Hunter's Mark, Dana.
Yep. So by the looks of it, you have turned the bow into the fire bow, right? You've used up the ruin?
Yes.
Okay.
And that'll do.
Hey, Matthew.
Hey!
Hey. Welcome to the game. You came just at the right time. Combat has just started. Very quickly, you guys are getting ready to go to bed down for the night. The sun is setting, and 3 huge cloud giants descend out of the clouds. Aaron,
So we're still on the ship.
Still on the ship, in the air, about 300 or 400 foot high, above the nearest mountain anyway. Aaron rang the bell. Everyone ran to attention as the creatures started moving in. Owen fired the first shot.
And Ride of the Valkyries is playing in the background.
Yes.
Alright, so being that the shot's been fired, then Aaron's going to fire.
Okay, so Aaron, go ahead and fire.
It's at the same guys. No! Oh, I got advantage.
With advantage, you do hit.
I got advantage because they haven't moved yet. It's
Yeah,
my
because they
range with me.
Yeah. So you do hit. The arrow does connect with its target. Go ahead and roll the damage. For a strong 6 points of piercing damage, the arrow embeds itself into the armor.
If there's any chance for if we're doing a surprise round, Gamel will always shoot at people with his musket at the first sign of trouble.
You're currently in the lower deck. You've just heard the alarm going off.
I see. Very well.
So there isn't actually a surprise round in this situation.
Do the cabins have windows? I don't suppose they do.
They
Portals?
do. Yeah. So you could
Portals.
see out. Yeah. It's directly behind the ship, so if you lean out, you could fire. You could get at it. All right. So go ahead, Gamel, when you get all situated and ready, go ahead and roll initiative so we can throw you in the order. So that was your shot, Aaron. You're ready to action. Owen, anything else from you?
Nope, I'm dandy.
All right, then the lead cloud giant moves closer. So he flies ever so slightly off to the side of the ship there and opens up a pack that he's got, a nice big pack on his side, picks out a big rock and throws it at Owen, who had just fired at him. I have a 17 to hit you, Owen.
That hits.
That hits. Okay. This huge boulder comes flying through the air and smashes into you. You take 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ouch. Wait, do I have the curse? Does that give me resistance against bludgeoning?
I need to double check which armor you have, because that makes a difference.
Oh no. It's raw vulnerability.
Yeah, you've got vulnerability to bludgeoning, so you
Yeah.
actually take 40 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, he is down.
Just to throw it out there though, but he's behind the great big stack thing. Doesn't he get cover for that?
please.
Well, if we're going to start throwing cover into it, would Eren be able to see them from the raised area?
Well, I thought they were to the side. I didn't realise they were behind. It wasn't until you picked them up. So technically, I would be in a different position, and I would grant that. But
yeah, go on. Don't take the 40 points of damage. The boulder hits into the thing giving him cover, which happens to house a fire elemental.
I'm just gonna burn down.
Alright. That is all that creature does on his turn. Loic, the alarm bells are going off. You can hear a loud crash as the boulder hit into the big metal furnace.
Can I see out the window?
You can see out the window. Just from your vantage point, you can just about see one half of a cloud giant riding on a cloud.
Did I learn anything about their people as a demeanor and a culture and kind of what their beliefs might be regarding all this and what they might have to do in the air next to us? Why they're attacking? If they're attacking? Okay. I did some
yeah, you did do some research.
So the critical fail is just a fail, right? With these skill checks, or if it's high enough, can it still pass?
There's no such thing as a critical success or failure on a skill check. A 14 is still possible.
A 14. Okay.
Yeah, it's still a 14, even with a 1. Okay. The Cloud Giants, as a thing... You know, ancient empires once cast long shadows over the world that quaked beneath the giants' feet. These very territorial creatures ruled the skies. Knowing the situation, you know giants and dragons don't get along well, and you are riding a dragon's airship filled with dragon cultists. So you can assume that they are aggressive towards you because they believe you to be dragon worshippers.
Got it. Then would you say that the top deck is within 30 feet of my position?
Yep.
Just barely?
It's like 15 foot above you. You just pop up if you're going up. Yep.
Yeah. I'll pop up where the door is. And I'll say to everybody else, we might just be passing through their territory. If we tell them we're going to be on our way, we have no purpose here, they might let us pass. Are we really going to try to fight them? Because I don't know what's going on yet, and I still have hope that we don't have to fight them. I'll stay put. And I will... Actually, can I still hold the action? Or I did movement?
You used a bonus action to Misty Step. You spoke. You can still hold
Misty
an
Stepped.
action. Was that what you did, or did you run?
No, I asked if I could just get there within one movement if I had to take a dash action.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were teleporting. Yeah, you could run up there in one movement. You don't need to take a dash action.
Okay,
you still have an action that you can hold. What are you holding, and for what trigger?
If the giants toss another rock, I'm going to throw up a wall of force on whichever side of the hull they're after.
Cool.
Defense.
So that'll be that. Then Gamel, what are you doing?
So I could lean out a porthole and shoot, but I feel like then I might drop my musket, and that would be sad. So why don't we just follow Loic's? You know, you hear the gong, and all hands on deck. You run up to the deck, and then just shoot at something. Sound good?
Yeah. So you run up, you look out, you see a big one that's closer than everything else. You're gonna fire at it?
I'm gonna musket it in the face, maybe. Gonna shoot at it. Whether I hit it's different.
You remind me of my time in the Navy.
Is that it? Just run on board and start the fire drill.
Yeah, blind panic.
Do clock it in the face. It's a perfect shot. 10 points of piercing damage. Alright.
Well, I hit him in the face. No, just seeking out some compliments from my inanimate weapon, so I feel better about myself. That is all.
And you hear a resounded, "Brilliant! Now let me at it." So Laz is actually going to fire a ballista shot. As you see him moving the ballista, you guys can learn that the ballista has a 90-degree firing range, so 45 degrees to each side. It's not that great of an area. It definitely hits. for 8 points of piercing damage as a bolt hits into it. He's then going to spend the rest of his action and movement trying to reload that. Taman.
I will clasp my prayer beads and cast Bless on myself, Owen, and Gamil. So those are an extra 1d4 to your attack rolls and your saves. And I suppose I will see if I can stand in front of Nizroth and provide cover.
Alright. So you move up. Then Gideon. How about you?
Yeah, Gideon's going to cross up to the upper deck. Is there any, like how high is the barrier around the edge? Could I duck behind it to get more cover, or is that even worth it?
It's about 3 or 4 foot high. It's about waist height, so you can duck down it.
Alright, well, does it cost me any movement to do that? Because I just used it all.
No, it doesn't, but it would be classed as you taking the... Like, if you're actively trying to hide, that's you taking the hide action.
Not so much hide, just benefit from cover. I don't know if that makes a difference.
If you're stood up straight, you're not going to get any cover.
Fair enough, I'll just keep standing for what it is.
Okay.
Having heard what Loic said, he's going to shout out across the giants, "Children, we seek you no further harm. Stand down."
Speak for yourself.
Okay. Then, if that's everything you're going to do, the first of the Cloud Giants, or the second of the Cloud Giants, rather, he's able to move up to there, and then he's going to throw a boulder.
I guess I'll
Use
throw
a
the wall up.
wall of force. Yeah. So a rock flies in through the air towards the group that are clustered at the top. You throw a wall of force up. How full?
So, you see the front of the ship, it's got the harpoon and everything?
Yep.
The back is the colored part, the wall of force is the colored part.
Okay.
So it's like a shelf.
Alright.
It's like a hemispherical shelf.
Okay. So you create this wall of force, and it's blocking everything that comes through, right?
Well, yeah, but you've got a couple of feet beneath it where there's nothing so that people can shoot out of it.
Okay. Alright.
And the harpoons won't have a problem.
Cool. So the rock hits into the wall of force and just explodes everywhere. That's all he gets to do. The other Cloud Giant is going to move around there. He's not going to do the same. He's just going to keep moving. Then Lael, you're at the bottom of the deck. What are you doing?
Well, I'd like you to choose where my saddle is, please.
It would have been kept with you.
Would it?
Yeah.
All my stuff would have come with me. Right then. I'm just gonna be okay. That's as far as I can go.
That's just a movement action. You can always dash.
No, I don't do that.
Okay. Then Nizroth. He's just going to ready to see if there's anything he can fire at. Aaron, top of the round. Back up to you. What are you doing?
Where I'm placed? Can I shoot from that location, or is it too high?
These things are pretty big. You could get there. You'd have to make sure that your shot goes underneath the shelf that Loic had just created. But
I would have seen Loic do it. I've seen Loic do this before, so I would imagine I've seen it. I'm seeing there's no sign of them relenting from the attack after Loic and Gideon have kind of shouted. So I'm going to sort of say to Loic, I don't seem interested, and fire 2 more shots at the lead at one.
Maybe that's if they don't speak our language.
Get well, say so.
So you're firing at which one? The one that you got the hunter's mark on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The lead. That is a hit. A solid shot embedding itself into the armor of this creature.
Another shot.
That'll hit. Anything else from you, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm kind of conscious about the one that's flanking us. No, I'm going to stay there. I'm going to just duck down and cover for the time being. I'm going to wait for the next.
Okay. Owen. Stood behind the furnace. What are you doing?
Is there a ladder leading up to the crow's nest where he is?
There is. It's a 60-foot climb to get to the top of the crow's nest.
Okay. Owen's going to quickly pinch up a little bit of dirt from the deck, toss it over himself. And he's just gonna then shoot up the ladder. A movement and then a dash action.
You use your action to cast Longstrider.
Was it an action? I thought it was a bonus action.
No,
never mind.
is an action.
That's fine.
Okay,
So
so
it gets
you
40
move
feet.
up 40 foot up, cresting around. You're holding onto the ropes as the wind is buffeting you, because the ship is still moving at this point.
Cool. And that'll do for now.
Okay. Then the lead cloud giant moves a little bit closer and is actually going to cast a spell. He's going to target the spell at Loic.
And I would like to counterspell that.
Fair enough. The spell that he's casting is instantly countered. As he starts moving the clouds in a sigil to throw it at you, it just disappears. That's all he can do. And he's quite frustrated. But it's your turn to react. It's your turn, Loic.
I'm going to lightning bolt the crap out of him, and in addition to that, I'm going to use my lore mastery feature to increase the damage by, 2d10 force damage in addition. Wait, this is lightning damage? Let's change the damage type. Let's just do all force.
All force damage, okay. DC 17 dex. He fails that. You hit him square in the chest. His armor starts to sizzle as you can see arcs of electricity connecting throughout it. So what's the damage in total? 35. Nice, solid shot. 35 force damage. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Okay. Gamel.
Alright, well, let's do this. I'm gonna chuck it at the guy that was messing with Loic. Ah.
That'll hit. 24 points of bloodshed.
And let's not forget, because of less, I get a plus 1d4 to damage, right? Or is it just the attack roll?
No, it's just to the attack rolls.
Alright. And I'll use extra attack to throw Whelm at him again.
Yep. Unfortunately, this time Whelm flies just past the cloud creature, the cloud giant, and...
Even if I add 2 to it?
Oh, adding the
Even
2,
if I
yep.
get 13?
You do hit.
Woo!
And now the armor is looking quite dented. The creature's got blood dripping from its face, because you've been hitting it in the face a lot.
That's Whelm's favorite place to hit giants. It's in the face.
Anything else?
That is all for me.
Okay. Laz is going to try and take another shot at the cloud giant leader. It's a critical hit.
Good job, Laz.
24 points of piercing damage as this huge bolt just impacts him and actually pushes it back quite a bit, because that's a powerful shot. Knocks him further back against the winds and he starts flying off course. Taman.
Taman will cast Sacred Flame against this lead giant.
He succeeds the dex save, I'm afraid. The cloud manages to just shift him enough that he gets out of the way.
And I will move to the other side of Nizroth, seeing the other giant approach. And just for the theater of the mind, are they actually flying on clouds, or are they just flying? Or how is it actually working?
They are stood on clouds that are flying. These creatures can't fly themselves, so very much Dragon Ball Z, stood on cloud nimbuses that are flying through the air.
Glad somebody made that joke.
Aaron, they're very heavy, and clouds don't really have all that much mass. How does that work?
You have to talk to the cloud giants to figure out how they're doing that.
Noted.
But these creatures are creatures that build entire cities and empires on top of clouds, so they must have a trick.
Bit far-fetched, really.
I will end my turn.
Alright. After failing to reason them out of existence, Gideon, what are you doing?
I'm going to step up and I'm going to cast Magic Weapon on the ballista.
Okay.
So that gives it a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls.
Yep, fair enough.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just going to hold the position here.
Okay. Then Cloud Giant number 1 tries to move around its friend It's to there, and he's going to attempt to throw a rock underneath the shelf through.
I'd like to hit him. Before he does.
You'd like to hit him? Yeah, go ahead.
He stepped into my range.
Unfortunately, because of the way he's moving and the wind, you don't hit him. The Cloud Giant throws his rock at disadvantage to try and aim underneath the shelf, and he's going for Aaron with a 17 to hit you, Aaron.
Misses.
It's going to miss you, okay?
Am I currently... it misses me anyway, but am I currently in sort of half cover where I am?
Yes. If you're down next to the stairs, yes, you are.
Yeah, is that a +2 for half cover?
+2, yep.
Yeah.
Failed. Then the other Cloud Giant, he's moving up around the shelf towards here, and he's going to throw something at Taman with a 17 to hit you, Taman. It's going to miss.
It misses, yes.
Yeah, it flies wildly off into the sky. Lael.
Going to very nonchalantly pop up here. Take a look around. I guess I see a cloud giant to my left.
See a Cloud Giant to your left, you see a Cloud Giant to your right, and clowns in the middle.
Excellent. Leo is going to flick back her cloak, and then in the same movement she's going to stamp her foot, and then in a 30-foot radius, a rune is going to appear on the base of the ship. For my action, I cast Aura of Vitality, and then for my bonus action, I'm going to use my Aura of Vitality to seek out those that are injured. Owen gains 2d6 healing.
You seek out and notice no one on your ship has been injured.
No?
I don't
Owen
think
has.
anyone... No, we negated that. We said that the rock hit the furnace.
Oh, so I haven't taken any damage.
That's how I understood it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine. I'm
Oh, I still cast Aura of Vitality. And then I just stand there.
Cool.
Oh, shit.
Then
There's a big shiny silver rune at everyone's feet.
Nyzoth, unable to do anything with the harpoon right now. He's not sure what to do. He doesn't have any ranged attacks, so he's going to run over and attempt to secure the furnace to make sure it's not leaking. Aaron.
How's the one looking? The lead one that's now dropped back. Can I see that one still?
You can still see it. It is behind the other Cloud Giant, so it does have a cover bonus on you, but well, not much. If you duck up, you can see it. It's looking pretty weak in comparison to what it was.
Okay. I'm all for concentrated fire, so I'm going to continue to try and hit that one.
Okay. Go ahead and fire. It's a good shot.
Second shot.
Yep, go ahead and fire again. The second shot, unfortunately, flies wild.
Okay.
Then Owen.
Owen is going to use his remaining 20-foot movement to go up to the top. So I do believe he's got... How much has he got left? He's got another 20 feet left of movement.
Yep.
Can he use an action to tie... Is there anything to tie a rope around on that crow's nest? Any sort of railing?
Yeah, there's plenty to be able to secure a rope to.
Yeah, in that case he's going to use his action to tie his rope around his waist, so 50 feet, and tie the other end to the railing.
Okay.
Then, if possible, to use the remaining 20 feet of Owen's movement to actually climb over the wall of the crow's nest and start scaling down the balloon in the direction of the two giants.
Which giant?
These two, just in their general direction.
Okay.
That'll do for now. Doing some James Bond stuff.
The ship is still moving very quickly. The wind is flying past you, and there's just you holding onto a rope.
It's tied off.
Yes, but it's... Yes.
Yeah. Did you ask me to do a check of some sort? 'Cause I think
Yeah,
it used
athletics check, please.
Athletics, that's fine. Bless?
Athletics, not acrobatics.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah.
This is how well you can hold onto the balloon. Alright, you're fine. You're able to hold on and keep moving. Cool.
Oh, thank God.
Alright. Seeing an individual scaling down the balloon, the cloud giant smiling one is going to attempt to cast a spell at you. I need Owen to roll a wisdom save for me. You're perfectly fine.
Yeah, I didn't think that. 118.
Okay. Loic. Oh, well, he does move. Continues to move up. And gets to
Great.
about there.
Perfect. Beautiful. I would like to cast yet another spell. This is my one for the day. When cast Blindness on a 4th level spell slot, enabling me to target 3 different creatures, all 3 of them since they are all within 30 feet, I will change it to an intelligence save and do the thing I did to the mage once where I make him think he's blind.
Okay. So, the tall one, the cloud giant smiling one, with the mask, immediately drops the mask in his hand, and his eyes go wide, unable to what's going on, starts looking around. He is affected. In fact, all of them fail. All of them turn blind and are unable to see what's going on, as the ship is still moving away from them.
Just
Okay.
sadistic.
Anything else from you, Loic?
I don't think it's necessary for me to do anything else, Aaron.
Okay. Gamel.
We are gonna stick with the tried and true throwing whelm at people, and I've plugged in a new calculation on Roll20, so this is either gonna work or break in half. So let's find out.
Roll
Yes.
20 goes down now. Okay. So you do hit. Good solid
Alright.
shot.
And that's against that auto calculates against the giant, it looks like. And then I'll just second attack again.
Right.
Ooh, Whelm is having a great day.
Great day. With a powerful shot, he's knocked back and forth, looking very weak, almost falling off of the cloud that he's on.
I'm gonna hurl some dwarvish insults at him.
Okay.
And I'll tell Whelm to interpret that into giant and yell those at them.
If I knew giant myself, I would shout something, but I don't. Oh, dwarvish, sorry. Yeah. So Laz tries to fire a shot at the cloud giant that's still trailing behind, but misses. No, it's got a +1, and that does hit. So,
If they're all blinded, do they all get advantage on attacks against them?
yep. So it would have hit anyway. So 22 points of piercing damage against the blind cloud giant that's following. Taman.
I will again just cast Sacred Flame at the smiling guy.
Alright. It's a dex save, but he can't see. So I'm going to assume he automatically fails. Personally, that makes sense to me. Even though blinded... Oh yeah, fails any ability checks that requires sight. So you do manage to hit with the Sacred Flame. It explodes on the creature's chest and arms. But he's still standing. Anything else from you, Taman?
I will move and again attempt to provide cover against incoming projectiles.
Okay. Then Gideon.
I'm gonna have a go at Lado down here. That's really
Both
good.
attacks miss, unfortunately. Oh, wait. Yeah, 21. That hits. So, 7 points of slashing damage with your halberd. Then it's the Cloud Giant's turn. Unable to see, they're going to move in a random direction. They know roughly where they're going, but they can't see absolutely, so I'm kind of... They're guessing where the ship is, because everything's still in motion. They need to guess. That's what the roll is for.
I want to let you know that this is the kind of spell where... Oh, they're moving first. You know that at the end of the turn, they can...
At the end
okay.
of the turn, they make a con save.
Yes,
An
okay.
intelligence
No,
save.
con save,
Con save.
because I've already kind of looked at it, and the way that the rest of the lore mastery works is that alterations only happen to the first time you cast it. So if it gets to keep up, then it goes back to being its normal spell.
Okay.
So next time they roll, it'll be for con.
So it is going to move aimlessly and end up getting closer to the ship. To about there. Feeling himself bump up against the ship, he's just going to swing wildly with a Morning Star, which will have disadvantage. Actually, that's a critical miss. So he fails. He's going to swing again with disadvantage. Again, a critical miss. 2 misses with a powerful weapon against Gideon. And at the end of his turn, he makes a con save, right? He gets a 16. That's still a fail, right?
It's still a fail.
Alright. Other one. He's going to roll the same thing. See where he goes. He ends up moving away from the ship. Doesn't feel anything. Throws a rock in a random direction and it misses everything. Lael.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay. Then Aaron.
So that giant, the one next to Gideon, is he next to the ship? Is he in melee range, is my question.
He's in melee range, yeah. He's right up against the ship.
Aaron's going to drop the bow, pull out Black Razor, and he's going to start wailing on this blind giant.
Okay. You have advantage on the attack. Go ahead and swing. That'll hit.
I'm going to add a superiority dice.
Carve through and manage to cut into his flesh.
Okay.
Digging a deep gouge. Anything else?
Second attack.
Mm-hmm. That'll do it.
18. Hunter's Mark. Oh no, sorry, I haven't got Hunter's Mark. I'm not doing that. Superiority dice, though, I'll add another one.
Yep.
Then I'm going to burn my action surge. Do you know what? I'm going to use my bonus action to move my
Hunter's Mark over, and then go ahead.
Should have done that in the first place.
So, quick swinging furiously at this creature. You get 2 more attacks. I'll do it.
Another superiority dice.
This thing is starting to bleed profusely from every single deep cut that you put in.
Okay, last attack.
Another solid swing.
And then final superiority dice from that one. Oh, sure, I didn't add the Hunter's Mark on those 2 dice, so that.
Okay. He is looking extremely weak now as a result of that pummeling he just received.
1, 2, 3. No, I'm going to run back.
Okay. Then Owen.
Okay, Owen's just bracing himself against the side of the balloon with his legs. He's got the wind ripping at his hair. He's going to have 1 pop at the lead one.
Well, okay. You're using a longbow while you're strapped to a flying airship by rope around your waist.
Yeah.
As soon as you let go of the balloon, you're going to start trailing behind the ship by about 50 foot.
Hold on, he's not actually... I don't think we've got the right image here. So he's abseiling down. He's not holding onto it with his hands. He's got the rope around his waist. He's basically abseiling down.
Okay.
So he's got his hands free.
Hands free, you are unable to do anything but be behind the ship as the wind is throwing you off the side of the ship.
Okay, so he can't actually brace it with his legs and stop himself from going anywhere.
Not at the speed the ship's going at. You have to hold on to be able to keep yourself in one position on that ship. Otherwise, you're just going to start flying behind it, being dragged by the rope.
Okay.
So what are you doing? Are you holding on, or are you being dragged by the ship right now?
Perhaps misjudging the physics of the situation. He's going to move back up into use his movement to go back up into the crow's nest.
Okay.
And then he'll take his shot.
Then you'll take a shot. All right.
Yeah.
So with the shot, you manage to just hit the shoulder of the creature, and it starts falling out of the sky straight into the ground.
Okay, and I'll go for the other one then, the one that Aaron's just been slashing it.
That'll hit.
And a boom. Ugh, only rolled ones for those.
But it's still taken a huge beating from all of that. Your attacks as well. That's a powerful shot. Anything else?
No, that'll do.
Okay, Loic.
Loic's starting to feel sorry for these guys, so he's just gonna firebolt the one that Gideon's been tussling with.
Okay. That'll hit. 15 points of fire damage. That's it for you, right, Loic?
Yep.
Okay. Then Gamel.
What time of day is it?
It's dusk. Sun is setting.
Well, we're not going to have anything to do with this. Gamel takes Whelm in his hand and smashes it into the boards of the floor, and a shockwave spreads out from the ship.
Okay. Got to make a con save.
And I will specify just the giants, not everyone else
Yeah.
on the ship.
I figured you would.
I was going to say, I was about to get very cross.
Right. The giant that's up close against the ship does manage to withstand the blow. However, the one that's now flying off aimlessly fails and becomes stunned, and his cloud just starts floating back with the wind.
And as my follow-up attack, I will... How close is that guy? Yeah, I guess I'll just throw Whelm at him again.
And with a...
22.
Sorry. You use your action to use the shockwave.
Right.
You don't have a second action on your turn.
I'm using my action. That's not an action
surge.
point.
Okay, cool. Alright. With that, and probably annoying Aaron as the giant falls underneath the attack of the hammer.
Now I can use my extra attack to attack the other guy who's stunned now.
Yes, you can. And that will hit him. Okay. Anything else, Camel?
That seems like enough for one turn.
Okay. Laz can't take a shot. Taman, you
I'll
don't do
just
anything.
throw a Sacred Bluff Flame at that guy.
Okay. And he fails. Takes the full 6. Because he's stunned, unable to move. Anything else, Taman?
That's it.
Then Gideon.
I'll not be doing anything.
Then as you all kind of calm down, you see the situation. The cloud giant, who is still blinded, starts just trailing back very quickly now because of the wind, and starts moving away from the ship.
Aaron's
Can we go
gonna
after him?
down that Black Razor and just go, they stole it from us.
If you want to turn around the ship and go after him, you can. Brassic is very much eager to kill this giant. Don't leave a single one remaining. What would you guys like to do?
It may behoove us not to let him go tell his friends that we're out and about out here. And perhaps it'll give us time to go down and check out the bodies and see if they have any interesting items on them. What do you guys think?
Perhaps in it.
Honestly, Black needs he needs feeding. He's going to get grumpy if I don't feed him. So going down and I can do some hunting while you investigate those would be great.
Alright, Brassic, after him.
Okay, so slowly Brassic turns the ship around over the course of the next couple of seconds, about 30 seconds it takes to get the ship moved, and then following the cloud giant as he's stunned. It takes you all just about a minute to get to him, at which point he's no longer stunned.
Can we
And
pierce him with
sees-
the foremast? There's a big pointy foremast. Can we run him through?
He would be off the ship at the front now, at this point, and Nizroth would be taking a shot at him with the harpoon. He'll be tied to it if he hits. Does hit, so now the cloud giant is pinned with a harpoon ahead of the ship as you're careening towards it. Lael. Well, we'll go to top. What would you have been doing over this time, Lael?
Gone back downstairs.
Okay.
It's a
Eric.
range. It's a range battle. She's not a range fighter. Also, Luce took away her crossbow because it goes against the teaching. So, and all my attack spells require me to have a melee weapon in my hand. So I'm completely useless. I'm just going to go downstairs.
Okay.
Hang up.
Aaron. He's still just off the ship by this point. You guys have gotten close. He's harpooned. He's no longer stunned. But how long does the blindness last? 1 minute?
1 minute.
Yeah, up to 1 minute. So by this point, he's also no longer blinded.
Okay.
He is impaled by harpoon.
Yep.
Yeah, Aaron's going to fireball him from there. He's going to hold on to Black Razor. He's picked up his bow by this point and put it on his back, and he's going to fireball him.
Okay.
Black Razor needs feeding, and I really fancy a giant.
Go ahead and fire. That'll connect. Are you going to hate it if Loic steals this one? Owen, you're at the top of the...
Owen's going for it. He hasn't heard anything about this. He's just up there isolated, so as soon as he does it, it's going to come into the range.
And it hits.
And he'll use his other attack to do also.
Another solid shot. Your arrow's just cutting gouges through him. Anything else?
No, I just realised I should have put on Hunter's Mark, but never mind.
Okay, so you use your bonus action to move the Hunter's Mark over now.
I might as well, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Then Loic.
Did you say that he's, like, bloodied to the point of, I don't know, within 2d10 points of damage-ish, just, hypothetically?
No.
Alright, I'll go ahead and attack him some more then.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
he's-
you miss.
He's restrained.
He's not
No, he's not.
technically restrained. The harpoon is just keeping him from moving away. But he doesn't want to move away anymore. So the 10 misses, unfortunately. Then Gamel.
From the back, throwing Whelm again, because this seems to be something that is working out pretty well.
I like Whelm.
Whelm flies through the air and it just catches this guy square in the gut.
It flies back, and I spin around my finger, and we throw him again! As if of his own volition, Whelm is flying about.
And each time, just huge that comes out of the Cloud Giant as you hit him.
And I'm done.
Laz doesn't get to do anything, but Nizroth does get to take... No, he doesn't get to take another shot, but he's going to use his action to pull the Cloud Giant closer to the ship. He gets there. Taman.
I will just Sacred Flame that guy.
Okay. Succeeds, actually. Manages to just duck out of the way.
I guess I'll also just take a step back, so anyone else, if they want to get closer, is welcome to.
Okay. Gideon, what would you be doing?
I'm going to be moving up and taking a defensive posture, but that's about it.
Okay. Then the Cloud Giant is going to move up to the side of the ship and swing his Morning Star at Taman. It's a 24 to hit.
I will react with shield.
Okay. So that misses. Comes around with a second swing for a 28 to hit you.
That hits.
That hits. Alright. You take 33 points of piercing damage.
Yowza.
But that's his turn. That's all he can do. Lael, you're still underneath the ship. Aaron.
Okay, how's he looking?
He's looking pretty beat up.
That way.
At your best, you could possibly do it in one turn, but you've used your action surge, and you're not sure if you could kill him in one go.
I know, but I kind of thinking to Black Razor, if you're hungry, this is a good time to use haste.
He hastes you. You get one more attack.
Okay. He's hungry. We've had this discussion.
I'm hungry, Seymour. Feed me.
It's a shame you missed out on the first one.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, DM, briefly, is he moving within 10 feet of the ship? Like,
Yes, he is now right up against the ship.
can I have a shot at him? Considering that he's entered range, I didn't realise.
I would quite happily negate my one because I wanted to hunt as my turn first, and I'll negate and roll again and let him go first if you want to do that.
So, no. Your first attack is going to be the 28. Go ahead, Gideon. Make an attack. And you miss. Aaron.
Why do you bother?
Do cut into him with Black Razor. How much damage do you do?
13 plus the same.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to use my bonus action to put a hardened mark on him now.
Mm-hmm. Another solid attack. Carve in. This time you actually cut him right into the chest, quite deeply.
And the final attack.
That'll hit. Let's see if it'll do it.
18 plus another. So close.
You know what? Just because I think it'll be good to show.
Ah!
So close.
Ah! He's mine!
At the end of that, Owen, you see this thing being buffeted back and forth by attacks this way and that. Lining up your shot.
Oh yeah, I've got the hunter's mark.
First shot hits, and this thing starts plummeting down to the ground instantly. Another solid kill by Owen. Kill steal by Owen. The bodies are all now falling back down to the ground.
Do you want the boy? You can have the boy.
Oh, the sweet, sweet sound of jealousy.
Feed me, Aaron.
Bloody hell, I think Black Razor will be on to Owen at this rate. Try to jump ship.
Alright, everything calms down. Brassic does turn to you and say, we don't have any purpose to go and trifle with the bodies, but we're at your command. Do you want to go down to them or move on to your destination?
Did anything on the Cloud Giant leader look particularly interesting to me? That stuff he was wearing didn't have any... Okay.
They seemed very basic, very simple.
This sword needs feeding. If it's not today, at some point we need to go down so I can do some hunting. But it doesn't need to be now, but it is going to have to happen. Because he hasn't been fed in like a day or two. So
can we ask Brassic if they have a rat problem?
Up this high, we don't tend to have a pest problem. But if you need to pull the ship down, to hunt, to do whatever you want, that's perfectly up to you. Perfectly fine.
I don't see any bathroom facilities on this ship. Maybe we could go down for a bathroom break.
Okay.
I can just imagine what they're doing.
Looks like I've just been doing it off the edge.
It's a full mountain dwarfs going.
This is technically the Middle Ages, this kind of how it was done.
Usually people have bedpans or a bucket. You are just animals.
It's got to go somewhere.
Alright. So,
does the vessel have a poop deck?
Alright, so you convince Brassic he does lower the ship down. After a little bit of investigating, trying to find it, you're able to find the 3 bodies, which after a 300-foot fall are just smushed and broken. Almost a big layer of jelly on the ground.
Can Aaron go off and kill something?
Yep. Aaron can go off hunting. Everyone here gets some XP from that combat.
Aaron is going to suggest when they take off again that maybe we should keep it low to the ground on the travel.
Slip under the radar.
Yeah, I think so. We're not so we don't run into any more giant, possibly in a high altitude.
Everyone gets 2,400 XP, including Lael, who learned very expertly that she's not a ranged attacker. So you do get the XP, even though you weren't involved in combat. Owen, for killing, if you didn't have inspiration before, you do now.
He's a giant slayer. It's like the how many you that's 3 you've taken down now, isn't it?
Was that for the James Bond move or for the...
This is for everything. You did think out of the box. You went up to an area that no one else was at. You tried something new. I did like it. Excellent. And you managed to kill 2 of the giants. kill steal two of the giants, which I think is hilarious.
Glad to hear it.
You get inspiration. Now, for those that aren't aware, inspiration from the DM typically means that at any point, any D20 based roll that you make, whether it's a skill check, attack, anything, you can use your inspiration to give yourself advantage on the roll.
Cool.
Okay?
I'll be using that for kill stealing.
Aaron,
Yep.
I have a question. I got inspiration last campaign, but I didn't use it. Do I still have inspiration?
It's just a thing. It's a currency that you guys keep until you use it.
Or transfer it?
Yeah, if you want to give it to other people, you can.
Okay. And it was 2,400.
1,400 XP. Okay, so you scout around the area and you look up for the remains. Is there anything else you're doing other than hunting? It is late now. You guys need to get some sleep.
I wanted to check the bodies specifically for anything made out of gold that can be melted down or any kind of jewelry.
The armor that they're wearing is a type of scale mail, so it's not really any gold on it, no items on them, but they do have minor bits of pointless jewelry, a silver ring, and a bunch of mundane items.
How big is
One
that?
happens to have a 6-foot-long wooden fence post, and another is an empty wooden chest that's about 2 foot.
Oh, I'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a new wooden chest.
Thanks.
It
Anything
survived
else?
the
Leia?
fall. You know it's quality.
It's time to speak to Mummy.
Okay.
So there's several things, important things to tell her. First being that I spoke to the Oracle of the God of Giants, and that he said that the way that we'll find a place to stay on the surface is by helping other races, not just with the humans. This leads me to think that we're probably going to get a no from Silvery Moon.
That's good to know. Thank you.
And if she has any idea of who I should be helping, that would be good. Also, I found myself on an airship, a flying airship. It's a ship and it flies with a big floaty thing. It's weird.
And she says to you, "Is it yours? Is there any way to justly acquire such a ship, or are you just riding someone else's?"
Now, funny you should mention that, Mum. This ship is owned by a red giant called Cloth, and I guess he has worshippers, and he says that he is interested in us fighting against the giants. Now, it's said that this dragon is a red dragon, but to say all red dragons are evil is like saying all drow is evil. We know how stupid that is. And plus, I've met a nice red dragon. So, what do you think?
I've never dealt with dragons myself, so I can't say from first hand what to do. I would just say be careful. Keep your wits about you, and don't trust them off face value. Trust your friends. Trust Aluste. She'll keep you in line. But I wouldn't trust them.
Okay, well that's all. Night, Mum.
Good night. In terms of asking her who you might help with, if the Oracle of the Giants said the salvation of your people is not based on humans, then there is a ton of other races. There's elves, gnomes, tieflings that you could go to. You could go to giants. It may be a case of the giants have something for you. Any other race might work. Or a new race. You might discover a new race. Who knows? Anything else you guys are doing down on the surface? Or are you just going to keep heading out or get back in the ship and fly off?
Owen didn't even get off the ship. He's just been staying in the crow's nest.
Cool. As the sun has completely gone down and it's now pitch black outside. You get back into the ship and start flying back off. Throughout the night, you all rest, completely get the benefits of a long rest without any disturbance. The next day, as you're flying through the mountain tops, you can see that winter is now completely set in as you continue to move more northwestern through the skies. Every section of the ground is now covered in frost, and as the ship makes its way through clouds and around the mountaintops, the air is feeling very cold and brisk. Over the next 2 days, you don't have any sort of hindrances or problems. There are plenty of occasions where birds come in to investigate the new flying ship and then disappear off. But I need to know, where are you going first? Raven Rock or Bryn Shander?
Whichever one's
Bryn Shander.
closer.
We need to do reconnaissance first and see what the lay of the land has been like and how it's changed and what to expect.
Okay, so
Load up on potions if you want them.
over. So, after 2 days, you head over to Bryn Shander.
Well, if we have to pass Raven Rock on
Might as well
the
go
way-
there. Well, might as well go there on the way. It might only take 2 seconds, like the last one,
But it might not.
but it might do. Don't know unless you see. Don't see any urgent reason to go to Bryn Shander.
It feels
You
like
have my opinion, rookie.
it feels like it's like a day, half a day's journey. It would be a bit
Yeah,
of
it's every second counts.
I need to know kind of a consensus what you're doing, guys. Are you going to reconnaissance Raven Rock? Or maybe
Yeah.
go to it? Yeah?
I would like to recon, but I was going to do it based off of local lore from Bryn Shander because they'd know in 10 towns what Raven Rock's all about. But if you
All the
guys
way
want to
back.
just charge in, guns blazing, that's cool too. I can do that.
Would they? Because it seems like they're quite a far distance away. Is that?
We'll be fine. We can always go run away, then come back later if it gets there. But we'll be fine. Let's get in there. Let's get stuck in.
I feel like if we're going to pass it, we might as well pass to go down to deal with it.
Yeah, I second that.
What's the consensus?
There is no consensus, but it seems like it's 2 against 1. So
No, I want to hear the other guys' opinions. If I've got one.
Gamel's down below trying to figure out how to perfect this ginger ale creation that they've made, and he doesn't have opinions one way or the other.
Same with Leo, she does not care.
I would sooner us go to Raven Rock, although I am eager to get to Bryn Shander. The lady did caution me to patience.
Okay. So, flying the ship towards Raven Rock, you get close enough that you can see the situation. Raven Rock gets its name quite obviously. What you see as you're approaching is a series of mounds in the snow, each about 15-20 foot off the ground, like lifted up. And each of these mounds has a series of rocks poking out of them, almost like a clock type system. But right in the center of that clock is this enormous 50-foot tall raven statue. And in front of the central clock, there is another burial mound that you can see that has an altar laid on top of it. But surrounding the entire area is lots of tiny little cairns, each that look like, from your vantage point anyway, they look like big snowballs with a hole in the front. You land, you find yourself a position to land. From what you can see, there's no one around.
Sense that shit.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Sensing.
You push out your senses. You start focusing, looking at the evidence. You look at the ground, the snow, how it's very freshly laid. It's not been tracked at all, and you don't sense any monstrosities, Aaron. Lael, are you using divine senses?
Yeah. So it's only 60
Yeah.
foot, but it still goes
Yeah.
underground.
Around you, around the area that you're in, you don't sense any celestials, fays, or fiends.
Or
No,
undead.
celestials, fays, or undead.
And fiends.
And fiends. Yeah. Okay. You don't sense any of those.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The place that you've parked the ship is about 100 foot away from the first of the mounds. There's a couple of them. And you're coming up from the southern side of it.
Okay, Owen's going to skip on over to the rope ladders and toss a couple over the side.
Okay, so you're climbing down from the crow's nest.
Yep.
Everyone would have gone off.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I'm assuming.
Well, where are character tokens?
Because of the sheer size of the map, I'm not bringing your tokens on right now.
Okay.
If I need to at all. We're going to do this in the mine. So you're trudging through the snow closer towards these burial mounds, and as you get closer and closer, you see a couple crows that have made perches throughout the areas, on top of rocks, on top of trees that are jutting out. What would you guys like to do?
Can I wave hi at the crows? Do they see us?
You wave at them. A couple of them turn and fly off.
Oh.
Is that
But
Owen?
they don't look unnatural in the way that they do that.
Can we use primeval awareness to get a sense of creatures?
Yes, likewise. I was about to say.
Yep. So, what are the creatures you can search for? Aaron, it's fiends. Oh.
No, the primeval awareness,
Primeval awareness.
Has another feature to it where you can kind of get a sense of beasts and communicate with them and see what their intentions and emotions are.
There are a series of ravens and crows in the area. That's all the beasts that you sense. Are you going to communicate with them?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to try and get a sense of do they have any intentions against us. That you kind of get a feeling of what their emotions are and what their needs are, and if they're just carrying or if they've got, like, they're watching us or they got.
To put a different slant on it, I would like to see if he recognises this sort of patterning or behaviour from birds that he's seen in the wilds.
Make a nature check. Okay. This isn't something you've seen in the wild so much. Not the way that they've... because normally birds will either bunch up in one group or kind of in the same sort of area. This lot seem to be almost exactly 4 ravens per perch in various different locations throughout the area. It's a little too uniform for actual nature. And you get a sense that they are watching, that they are learning.
Owen just sort of keeps his eyes up on the ravens and draws his bow, and he just sort of murmurs to whoever's behind him, "This ain't right, this. Those birds, they ain't natural. Not like the ones you see in the wilds."
Before you go starting fights again, let's see if they're friendly, and I'll break off a little piece of dried meat and hold my hand out and see if anyone approaches.
Oh yeah, by all means, you go and make nice with the monsters, like in that maze with that demon thing. Yeah, it turned out real nice that time.
Also, I don't think crows eat meat. Not like
They don't?
Like not dried jerky out of your hand, at least.
I mean, look at them.
They're scavengers.
Exactly 4 to a perch. All spaced out nice and even. That's not the way real birds behave.
Can I try and communicate with them?
Sure. What are you using to communicate with them? Just the primeval awareness.
Yeah, so have you got it in front of you? Do you want me to read it to you? What it says?
Go ahead and read it out, because I don't have it at hand.
Alright. Beginning at 3rd level, you are able to establish a powerful link with beasts and to the land around you. You have an innate ability to communicate with beasts, and they recognize you as kindred spirits. Through sounds and gestures, you can communicate simple ideas to a beast as an action. You can read its basic mood and intent. You learn its emotional state, whether affected by magic of any sort, or if it's short-term needs. I basically can't do it unless if it's a creature I've just recently attacked.
Yeah. So these are, and Owen, you are getting the sense as well. These are natural creatures that have been trained for a very specific purpose, and you communicate through your gestures, and they kind of communicate back that they are an elaborate system of, effectively, carrier pigeons. A warning system. So as you are getting closer, another group all together fly off and then split off into 4 directions.
Owen just kind of puts his hand out as if to say, don't go any further. And he's just like, they're messenger birds, they are.
Was correct. But I don't know who they're trying to communicate with.
They're going in
Maybe
4 different directions. We can make sure that they don't see 1 or 2. And Gamel raises his musket. He doesn't shoot it, but he's looking down and basically implies we can pick a couple off if we need to.
I'm gonna go ahead and go invisible. Just leave these guys to their devices.
Okay.
I'll just be standing there.
You go invisible in the snow?
Where I stand, yeah?
So it disappears. You can still see the footprints of where Loic was. You don't see any footprints elsewhere. But whether or not he stood still or flying, you don't know.
No.
Okay. Owen's going to cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
And will attempt to just sneak forward. He's sort of got a hand trail behind him to the others as if to say, just hold off a second. Let me have a look.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Oh.
Okay. As you get a little bit closer and your foot goes through more of the snow, you hear that familiar crunch that you're used to, and another set of birds fly off. Again, they split into 4 directions, and you see that they're actually headed in the same directions that the previous lot have gone to.
Is that like a north, south, east, west kind of thing, or is it just that they're...
It's 4 different directions. It's not exactly north, south, east, west, but it is 4 separate shots.
I'm gonna walk away from them and kind of like get about 30 feet of distance just to the side.
Okay. Are you doing anything while you're out there?
Investigating. Arcana, perhaps, since this is supposed to be an elaborate system of sorts.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check. Just don't sense anything magical in the area. Not the area that you're in, anyway. You look back, like you think about magical systems in the past. It looks actually more like a case of tracking the stars for divination purposes. Horoscopes, effectively. You've seen people use similar sort of positioning of rocks and things, but in a more articulate manner in your areas with fancy gold machines. These are a very basic kind of horoscope.
Okay, so that's not having anything to do with the ravens. We're talking about the land formation and stuff.
The land formation, yeah.
Okay, and so the birds flying off.
It's
Has
nothing.
Owen told us all this?
I think
I would have communicated it.
Okay.
Aaron would have, yeah.
Aaron wants to kind of suggest to Taman that his ability to read and communicate is limited. He doesn't know if Taman can talk to animals with his spell casting. Maybe we need to know where they're going. I can't. They're notifying somebody, but I don't know where they are.
I'm happy to try if we think there is a benefit there.
It would be nice to know where they're going.
Okay. You are now able to comprehend and verbally communicate with the ravens.
I call out to them, caw, caw, caw.
And back, caw, caw.
Oh, well, it seems that... No, I have no idea.
What do you say to them?
Greetings, ravens and or crows. It seems like you guys deliver messages to folks. What types of folks and what type of messages are you carrying?
Who's got... People come to burial mound.
Normally when you deliver your messages, do you see the folks that you deliver your messages come and follow up and investigate?
They bring us back.
So you fly to them and then they carry you back?
Yep.
So you guys go in 4 different directions. Does that mean that you guys are contacting 4 different groups?
4 Uthgard camps.
Yeah, about how far away is the one that you plan on delivering your message to?
Well, as the crow flies, a few miles. Crow doesn't really understand distance so much as time. It shares that it usually gets to its camp in about an hour.
Last question. If I had a dried piece of meat in my hand, would you eat it? Asking for a friend.
Yep.
Good to know. I mean, I don't have any, but just
Don't have food.
sorry, I didn't mean to tease you like that. Okay, great. You've been swell.
Any food. They start messaging each other. He's got no food. Oh.
Hey, Taman, off to the side, from nothing. Do they know where the artifact is?
Oh, I'll ask. Do you guys know where a really big, not stone piece of humanoid equipment might be located in this general area?
Just looks at you and kind of tilts its head. No.
I describe instead an actual, maybe, I describe what the altar looked like at the last place. And say, how about one of these? Whatever the altar looked like.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Thanks. You guys have been swell.
Anytime. Bring food next time.
Will do.
And then that group fly off.
All right. I share the information that the crows deliver messages to 4 different groups of barbarians, one of which is maybe an hour away. The other 3, I'm not so sure. But they deliver messages indicating that there are visitors to this area.
Then we need to find that relic as soon as possible then. Come on.
Yeah, what are we waiting for? Let's start ransacking this place.
Owen's going to actually start making his way up to where the highest point is, on the Raven Rock. See what he can see.
Okay. So you're going to climb up on top of the Raven itself?
Yes.
Okay. From there, you can see the rest of the area quite easily laid out. Straight, you've got a clear shot of the altar that is just a little bit away. You can see that area is used a lot regularly. The altar looks, though it's got snow on it, you can see cloth and food, bowls and things that are around that. And then at the foot of the Raven itself, there seem to be little offerings.
Looking at the altar and the pillars, the sort of diamond shape of pillars around Raven Rock, is it possible that could conjure up any sort of stories from sort of local northern mythologies, that sort of thing? Any folk stories?
Make a history check. You've not really heard much about the Uthgard barbarians.
Okie dokie, that's fine.
Can I go for a general investigation check as I walk around, minding the astrological symbols, thinking about where they might put something that they find to be particularly fascinating?
Go ahead and roll investigation. You particularly, you use all of your senses to kind of investigate and double check. You get a sense that the area around the altar and the rock itself, the earth is ever so slightly different compared to the earth elsewhere, and you push out your kind of magical senses and you sense that there is some form of magical energy underneath the surface of the ground in those 2 spots.
Hey guys. My wizard senses are tingling.
Yes.
Over here.
Before Aaron goes, he's going to shout up to the airship and basically say, I think we're going to expect company. Can you guys hover up above the general area and shout down warning to us? And possibly, if we have to get extracted, throw ropes down and we'll climb up to the ship. I think
Will do. And they start firing up the ship again and getting it moving and keep an eye. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll go over to
The ground is strange here, different, and I'm sensing something abnormal magically underneath the base of the
Is it
statue.
worthwhile to make a perception check after Lois called our attention to that?
Physical perception, as you're not an
I'm
arcane
not magical
user,
at all. I am just a dwarf.
you wouldn't sense anything different, Lael, but
I would like to use an athletics check to push over the statue.
the 50-foot tall stone statue.
5 giant. Well, yep. Push it over.
Go ahead
Is it
and
on-
roll an athletics check.
Can I contest that?
You gonna stop her?
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm
Okay.
doing. I'm just like walking around it. You don't know that. What I'm going to do until
Well,
it's
you're
too
going to
late.
go for a push, and I'm going to push it back.
Well, I
It's
could
a-
just
it's
be.
gonna-
I could
Just
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 be
let
touching
her
it.
push it.
Whatever.
Go ahead and
Let's see what
roll
happens.
your athletics, Lael. Let's see what happens. 18. Okay. Everyone else sees that she pushes hard on the rock, and as she does so, the snow underneath her feet starts slipping. You can't get a grip, and you just can't push it at all. So nothing happens, I'm afraid.
Wasn't
Relax.
Zoan on top of that statue?
Yep.
She struck with her. Owen just sort of frowns down and says like, "Oi, what you doing? I'm up here."
Young boys bounce. She shouts up to him.
I don't think we need to enroll the populace by destroying all their altars. You wouldn't like it if somebody started pushing around altars that are astride. So maybe that's not a great idea.
If you guys give me 10 minutes, I can produce a solution to all of our troubles.
Owen just sort of frowns and looks about, and he just shouts to Loic, 4 pillars around the altar, 4 pillars around the rock, 4 ravens. What do you make of this?
It's directions, or astrology, or there are a couple of things it could be.
Do you want me to try and start digging out? They said
No.
it was on.
Just give me 10 minutes, and then we won't have to disturb the earth at all.
Okay.
Well, we've
Right.
got an hour before anybody gets word of this.
We'll
Well,
be out
we've
of
got
here.
an hour. We've got an hour before one of the tribes gets to us. There might be closer ones.
So I'm going to back up, drop my invisibility, and begin casting the 10-minute spell of Conjure Elemental. And it's going to be an Earth Elemental.
So after
Okay.
the 10 minutes, the earth around kind of forms up, and you have an earth elemental.
Sorry to disturb you from your eternal stoniness, but we have an object we need you to claim. Can you go underneath that statue without disturbing the statue itself and fetch me whatever is down there?
The elemental just immediately turns, goes underneath. You're underneath the raven, right? You're next to the raven. Okay. It disappears under the ground. A moment later, it comes back up, and it's holding in its hand a ring that's pretty huge, but the ring looks like it's made out of hardened magma.
Does it
just holds
feel
it out to you.
warm,
It does feel warm.
but not
What's Mount
hot?
Doom?
Not hot, just warm.
I'll take it from him and say thank you, my friend. Is that it? Are we gonna hop back up in the blimp now?
Did
You
you?
can do, but you also sensed something under the altar as well.
I'm gonna get him to go fetch that too.
Okay, so he goes over to that one, he goes in, and a moment later, he pulls out this huge, and I mean huge, thigh bone.
Okay, well, I'll identify that later.
You just dug
Is
up
there
a
any?
bone.
Is there any more that was attached to?
No, he didn't get anything else, he just got this thigh bone, and you look over the thigh bone, and it's huge. It weighs about 250 pounds just by itself. It's a big thing. But it looks like it had been turned into a club of sorts. But now you've got the 2 relics. The time has passed on a little bit, but so far the airship hasn't warned you guys of any oncoming individuals. But by now all of the ravens have flown off. What are you guys doing?
Out of curiosity, did any of the ravens leave when we actually pulled the things out of the ground? Are they all gone by the Earth element all turned up?
They were all gone by then.
Okay, so they don't know we've done it. Get the ship down, get the stuff in the ship.
You'll get up into the ship. Loic, when you grabbed the ring, the magma ring, it resized itself to be a bracelet size for you.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then you get in the ship and you just start flying away, flying towards Bryn Shander, I'm assuming.
The perfect crime.
It's
As
great,
you're
we just
leaving
marched in there
away,
and nicked everything.
You do get to see there looks to be some individuals moving along the ground in the distance, coming towards the rock, looking very similar to the barbarians that you had killed at the entrance to Eye of the Allfather.
Love your holy ground.
Suckers.
It's a great place. It was on our map.
I give it 5 out of 5. Would recommend again.
So you continue flying. The distance from here to Bryn Shander is pretty short, and it only takes you a couple hours to do so. Over that time, Loic and those that are interested, looking over the thigh bone, are able to detect that this is the thigh bone of a ancient dragon. So a nice, big, huge thigh bone.
What does one do with a giant dragon thigh bone?
There's a nice
That
giant
might be
I
the
know.
relic.
That could be
Use
the
it.
relic.
What were you going to say, Loic?
There's a nice giant I know who would love to probably wield that as a club.
Used it as a club.
Go with
I
the helmet.
imagine-
Yeah.
I imagine with this rivalry between dragons and giants that having a club made of your enemy would be a
Trophy, yeah.
trophy weapon, and that's probably the relic we're looking for.
Before we get to Bryn Shander, what's up with that ring?
You identify it, and you do learn the ring happens to actually have a bunch of charges. It's a magical item. While attuned to the ring, a creature can expend 1 charge to cast Conjure Minor Elementals from it, or Fire Shield. But with it, you can only summon either 4 Magma Mephits or 4 Magmins. Either one. But it only has 6
4
charges.
magma methods.
Same
It
time
doesn't
it takes to...
regain charges. Yes, same time. However, you do also get a sense from your identification that this is an ancient relic. And the same with the thigh bone. It also is an ancient relic. Right.
Would anybody be interested in using a ring like this? No. Okay.
When the magic's gone out of it, I can make some fancy jewelry out of it.
Or you could trade it into the Oracle to get the location of one of the giant people. Okay, so another couple hours go by and you crest up to Bryn Shander. Now, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, thinking about this, that ring, they didn't say that Owen's parents were killed by the old people with the fire giants, and this one seems fire-based. Wouldn't that not be the most important one for Owen? Would Aaron guess that?
Yeah, that's sound reasoning.
So yeah, he would probably say this. Say that and gauge people's opinions on that, and maybe Owen would want to keep a hold of that one.
Sure, why not? You got a handout for it?
I've not created a handout for it because it's not that much of an item, and especially if, well, for one thing, you're not really going to cast Conjure Minor Elementals. Yeah.
Magma.
Anyone can use it, but it is the intent to trade it in to get the location of the fire giants if you wish.
Yeah, it's a plot item.
Cool. So, you fly off to Bryn Shander. Now, some of you have either heard of Bryn Shander or have visited it before. And the information that you know of, and Loic would have possibly shared this, Bryn Shander is one of the largest cities in the 10 Towns areas. The 10 Towns is a group of towns up within the Icewind Dale that kind of work together as a small county. Anything that happens in one of them is shared and communicated with all of the rest, Bryn Shander being the main one. As you approach the city of Bryn Shander, you notice that the city had, and I say had, a huge wall surrounding the entire city with 3 large, big stone gates. But those gates have all been broken down to pieces. You're flying around to get an idea of the lay of the land, and you can see huge boulders still in the town. Buildings have been crushed and destroyed. What once was a great city has been just decimated and brought down to rubble, more or less. You can still see people in it. There's still plenty of people moving around, and some of the more key locations are still standing. You can see the market district has still replaced itself. It's a bit in shambles right now, but it has kind of built itself up. You park the airship just outside of town, and heading into Bryn Shander, you get this feeling of just pain everywhere. But also, the thought crosses your mind that this city has not rebuilt yet. But from all reckoning, it's been at least a couple weeks since it was apparently attacked. So why hasn't there been any efforts to rebuild? But there are still people moving around. They're moving around very slowly and very purposefully from place to place. What would you guys like to do in Bryn Shander?
Is there anybody at what used to be the gate?
No. You can see that the gate is still, like, all of the gates are still on the ground, broken in pieces. Huge wrought iron portcullises that are jutting out of the ground have been turned over and broken. There is no one manning gates right now.
Well, I'm going to turn to the others and tell them my intent is to seek the place where there is leadership and see what's up with this place presently.
It may be useful to see if the local chapter of the Most Careful Order of Skilled Smith and Metal Forgers is around. I have credentials and can get in there. Maybe they can give us some info before we go charging into whatever other political structure may still exist.
Owen's actually just started separating himself and just walking around the outskirts, sort of looking at the damage. Don't know if anybody's peeled off and following him.
If I catch him, see him leaving, I'm going to ask him if he has any way to find us again, if he separates himself.
If I'm not back at the airship by sundown, then come and find me.
No, if you're not back at the airship by sundown, we're going to leave you, if that's the time in which we're leaving. Point is, we need a place to reconvene if you're going to walk off. Is there an inn around here?
Yeah, you guys can find an inn. You know that every town should have something. So if you want to go and look for an inn, you're able to find a small, simple place.
What about nighttime at the inn?
Just shrugs and... Oops, sorry.
No one is being left behind, Loic. No one...
I thought every moment counted. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna go this way.
So let's say we get moving by sunset. Anybody not on the airship by then gets left behind. Simple.
No one is being left behind, as I said. I don't see we're in a rush. I don't think anyone said every moment. I don't know who said every moment counted. But if you want to go off and gestate, we'll reconvene at the inn at sundown. And if someone is missing, then something has happened to them. Are we all agreed? Right, now we leave off. Aim at someone on the ship.
Taben's going to hang out with Loic.
Baron's going to hang out with Gideon because he had something to do here, and I'd quite happily go accompany him if he wants to do something.
Owen, what are you going off to do?
He's going to look for the nearest guard, ask directions to the nearest smith, well, sort of weapons merchant.
You find the guard. They look very flustered and empty, like struggling, running around quite a lot. They do point you in the direction of where the smiths were, but they do say, good luck finding anyone that's still working there. That area was destroyed in the attack.
Okay. After that, Owen just sort of, nevertheless, just picks up his feet and just walks. He's just observing, taking it in. Everything that's happened.
Alright, make a perception check. You notice that people are keeping their distance from you. Like, actively trying to keep their distance from you.
Is there anything in particular that's well known about the people of Bryn Shander? Anything that suggests they'd be wary around strangers?
Not normally. Not that you've heard. But this is a city that was recently destroyed in an attack, so they might just be shell-shocked by all of the damage. Okay, so you're doing that. Loic, what are you and Taman and anyone else that's with Loic doing?
We're headed after the main government house, which I probably know the general whereabouts of, or could figure it out.
So you get headed towards what should be the town hall. Again, town hall has been destroyed. There is a huge hole in the side of it, but they have set up some form of tent and gazebo outside of it, where you find the local sheriff in there, sat down on a chair, rifling through papers and talking to an advisor.
I will patiently wait until he is finished talking to the advisor, and then I will introduce myself and reach out my normal hand, give him a handshake. It's like, my name is Loic. Silvery Moon sent me. Sorry to disturb you. I know you're very busy. We were just hoping we could get a quick debriefing as to the state of the city presently.
So what you see is a female, a very beautiful but fierce-looking female, sat down in this chair. She shakes your hand, then stands up. Greetings and welcome to Bryn Shander. What brings you to our side of the world?
Besides wanting to know what the state of the city was, what your plan is to make it functioning again, how close we are to reopening trade. Doesn't look like very close. But I also noticed that your peacekeeping system is very, very thin. Is that because they've all fallen?
We've been spread out thin. Damage has not been just to Bryn Shander, though we took the brunt in the attack from the Frost Giants. I don't know if you've heard, but the Giants seem to be causing a lot of damage in the area. We were destroyed, utterly destroyed, in the battle. We started rebuilding, but my limited forces are just struggling. They've spread out amongst all of the rest of the 10 towns. We don't have much.
Do you know if any of the giants actually entered any of the cities? Or any of their slaves?
Our reports are that the other 10 towns weren't affected by giants. Strangely enough, it was a group of yellow-skinned people, that's all we know, that came in and attacked.
Noses?
My reports don't have any sort of... What race doesn't have a nose, so...
A very elusive one that is very dangerous. I just wanted to check. They have yellow skin, they're humanoid. What else has yellow skin and are humanoid? Okay, well, we've been a forward scouting party for the situation that's been going on around here. Of course, Silvery Moon wants to know what's happening. We're in the middle of everything. So, we have been able to discern via our own evidence and findings that they're actually after artifacts, hordes of artifacts. We believe that they are vying for a magical item that will take them to the court of their lord in order to give them higher rankings to reestablish what they call the ordning, which is the way that the giant kind are set up in class and rank and file. That has been shattered, causing chaos amongst the giant races, and it seems like you guys pose some kind of immediate threat to them, or perhaps you were holding something that they were seeking. You say that these yellow-skinned humanoids, they entered the cities? Perhaps they found what they were looking for. Or perhaps they haven't, and they're still attacking you.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
I'm going to check real quick and see if I have any psionics that'll help me with that.
Okay. While she's doing that, Gideon and Aaron, and anyone that may be with him. What are you guys doing?
What was Gamel doing? Oh, you mentioned Smiths. I don't know if you went with either group.
Gamel's just gonna go strike out on his own and find his guild, or maybe the rubbles of what used to be the guild house. We'll see.
Gideon will look towards you. He'll be looking around most of the place with just an expression of horror at the destruction that's going on and just look very cut up about it all. But he will look towards Gamel. You say you know people here, child. That they can tell you what happened. Who caused this?
I'm from an area much further south from here. I've never traveled to this particular town before, but as a member of 2 different guilds, I have credentials that can get me access to guild leaders and facilities here. So I'm just going to pop in and see if they will share whatever information they have with me.
I would seek to accompany if you would allow it.
The more the merrier.
You look around the city, and after a bit of time you do find the merchant district that would have had the guild house and where the smiths would have worked, but there's no sign of anyone still remaining. There is sign that the guild was once there, but that it was destroyed in an attack. The buildings have been torn down, rocks and boulders are everywhere. The forges have been broken to pieces, so they're no longer functional. They don't seem to be anyone in the area.
You said this to Owen, but to Owen, he's with them, but this area seems to be taking the most focus.
That area is actually the central section, so it's where most people congregated, and so yes, it seems to be that the damage escalated as it got further in.
Gamma will poke through the remains of the Smiths Guild and the Jewelers Guild if there was one, and probably just try to find if any smiths or jewelers are around and try to talk to someone. I assume that's just effort that he puts in without much return, unless you want to say something different.
No, there's nothing there. Sure. You do see that there's no evidence of any smiths or jewelers' bodies.
Okay.
So they got out. They must have got out. But where they are, what they're doing, you don't know. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
As they travel, does it look like any of the inhabitants are injured in any way?
No, you don't find anything additional or extra in there. Everyone seems to be fine now. There's no injured individuals. But taking stock of the people now, you notice that they're keeping to small groups and they're moving quickly from place to place. They're keeping their distance from you.
Aaron, having the folk hero thing and being like a common people, he's going to ask around to see if there's any witnesses, anybody that might have seen the concentration here. Rather than second-hand accounts that we're getting, that Lois getting, he's going to try and look for an actual witness that saw this and maybe saw what they were looking for if they took anything away.
Roll me a charisma-based check. Just to see how well you communicate with the people.
Can I give them help?
Depends on which charisma-based skill Aaron decides to use.
I'm not good at any of that, but I'll go with persuasion.
Okay. Are you proficient in persuasion? Okay, then you have advantage, Aaron.
Okay.
Okay. No one seems to be responding to your efforts.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
That's fine.
So that's you guys. Loic, what were you doing? You were rolling a persuasion check.
Yeah. I don't have anything that'll give me any additional bonuses. So.
Okay.
7.
Right. I appreciate all of the information you're sharing. It seems to be a lot, though we have a lot that's going on ourselves. Thank you for your time, but I must get back to work.
No, that's fine. This information is for you, so that you can be better prepared for the future and know your enemy and what you're fighting against. For instance, you can create a strategy in the future and say, don't attack my city. I have this magical artifact to give you. It's not in the city, but I will take you to it, and you could lure the giants away. If you know what the enemy is after, you can use that.
Thank you. She looks like she just doesn't believe what you're saying. I appreciate, but we've got troubles of our own.
One last question before we go. Do you know if the giants in their destruction took anything from here?
She pauses, thinks. No, they didn't take anything.
It's fine. I mean, they don't want
When
what
we-
we have to give them.
As I'm walking away, I look over my shoulder. As we get back to Silver Moon, is there anything that we could tell them that would be helpful to help you guys rebuild? Is there anything that you need that Silver Moon can offer?
Make a persuasion check.
Tatum, do you have that authority?
I never claimed I had any authority.
We'll be fine by ourselves. Thank you.
If you do
Okey-dokes.
change your mind, see if you can get a mage to throw me a spell of sending or something.
Will do. What was your name again?
My name is Loic.
Loic. Okay. Thank you. So you walk out. Anything else that anyone was doing in the town? Lael.
How long did that take for everyone to do their bits?
Them. Half an hour to an hour or so.
Okay. Because on the ship, Leo and her entourage are donning their banners and their illustrae outfits that Leo had made for them in her clothing shop. And Illusta's been busy cooking. And then as soon as it's ready, they make their way to the front of the gates, where they set up shop, handing out food to us. Lust would take her veiled bit and would veil herself. Leo would be in her thing, but the big banner of illustrae is there, and Randall and Kellen would be the ones handing out the food.
Okay. After about an hour of you giving out food to various people, you start seeing people gathering up closer to you, and they seem to be warming up to you and your little group, thanking you for the food, and they ask, how can we repay you?
And Leo says she doesn't want payment, but she wants to hear of anything that's been going on in the town, if anyone knows if anything's been missing, any items of interest have gone missing, or any people of interest that have gone missing. Like, she just wants to hear city rumours, that type of thing.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage, because you fed them.
17.
Okay. After a little while, a frail old man does start sharing his story. An elaborate story that starts with how he woke up on his leg was just killing him. It was just a horrible day. And he spends a good while talking about his breakfast. And it was a good breakfast. His son came up to visit him, and they talked for a while. You know, his son is a local merchant who was, and he just starts rattling on and getting a little distracted. But then he gets back to the story, and, well, that's when the rock fell through the ceiling and crushed my son. And I went out to investigate, and frost giants, were attacking the city, screaming and shouting for someone named Artus Simba. Well, I didn't know anyone by that name, and no one seemed to go up to them, but they kept shouting about this Artus Simba and something called the Ring of Winter. I don't know what it was, what it's for. The town guard very quickly managed to gather up and fight these frost giants. And it was a long, drawn-out battle, but we won. All of the frost giants were killed, but we lost most of the city in the process. But that wasn't the biggest problem. And he kind of gets closer to you and starts whispering to you. It's what happened the next day. We had 5 strangers arrive in town, all yellow-skinned, all wearing strange garb we had never seen before. They came in and offered help, offered to aid the city and rebuild it. But no rebuilding has happened at all. In fact, no one in town is willing to do anything anymore. And I swear people have started going missing since they arrived.
Who has gone missing?
Just people. We were thin on the ground anyway. There was not a lot of people left after the battle, but A lot of the town guard just disappeared. A couple of the merchants. One day they're at their shop, the next day they're gone. I don't know what's happening with that. I would hope the sheriff is investigating, but they've...
Where can I find the sheriff?
Town hall, center of the city. She's a very busy woman, though. Not very trusting.
And then Lale gives him an extra serving of food.
Oh, thank you. And he just starts eating it. It's very good. Very good.
Yes, Luce is an amazing cook.
Mm-hmm.
Please, there's plenty to go round. Tell everybody.
Will do. They all just start breaking off and separating. But yeah.
I would like to now send Randall off to go find either Loic or Aaron or Taman, because I see them in figures of authority, sorry guys. To tell them that I found out something interesting.
So it doesn't take long for Loic and Taman to see Randall running up to them saying Lael needs you. She has some information to share. I don't know what it is, what it's for, but she seems excited for once. Don't tell her I said that. And he starts leading the two of you back towards Lael and her little kitchen, her little soup kitchen that she'd set up. You see that a lot of the people are gathering up very quickly and closely and helping each other to the food. And
come up to her and lean to the side and say, clever. Very clever.
I get in line.
Lale nods her head to the side and they just kind of like separate themselves from the crowd of people. And then she said, I've been asking the townspeople what rumours that they've heard. And when the giants attacked, they were shouting for Artus Simba and they were looking for the Ring of Winter. However, apparently Artus Simba isn't a recognised name of town. But that wasn't the strangest thing. An old man told me that the strangest thing happened the day after attack is 5 yellow-skinned strangers in strange garb turned up to the city offering aid, and their help was accepted. However, no rebuilding or aid has happened. In fact, people are not interested in doing anything, and there are rumours that people have started going missing. So most of the town guard is missing. Merchants have been going missing.
We spoke to the leader, which is the sheriff.
Ah, yes. I was told that apparently she should be investigating, or so this old man hopes. But apparently she's guarded and doesn't trust anybody.
I was wondering if she was stupid or what. So apparently she just is very tight-lipped. She didn't tell us any of this. She did say that the yellow humanoid creatures have entered towns. I was assuming they are doing so underneath the ruling of the giants.
Well, possibly, but they offered aid, so I don't know what that means.
Were you able to get any more physical description of the yellow-skinned creatures? How tall they were, if they were lanky, if they were portly, anything?
Lale just looks around for that old man. Is he still about?
he's still about.
Okay, Lale just tugs on Loic's robe and we approach him.
Hobbles towards you.
Hello, good sir.
Hello.
This is my friend, Loic, a very wise and learned wizard from Silvery Moon. We wanted to ask you about these yellow-skinned strangers. We have a couple of questions about what they looked like their heights. Are they
strange
still here?
facial features, tattoos?
Are they still here?
What kind of hides they're wearing?
Their
Sorry to
clothes-
overwhelm you.
Their clothes were strange. Never seen clothes like that. Not typical leather. Almost futuristic, as it were. They seem to be strange clothing. Yellow skins, very pointed. Almost like you took a drow, cut off the nose, and painted them yellow.
Did you say cut off the nose?
Oh yeah, it was weird. It was
Look.
kind of like a snake face.
Takes a couple steps back.
What?
What we're dealing with are Githyankin.
Isn't your mask or your former Master Current? I don't know, I haven't. I've lost track with you. A Githyankin?
Yes, that's the only reason why I know is because I saw him in Graven Hollow.
So, wasn't he... Why would they not help these people? Thank you very much, by the way. And she
I don't know what their dog in this fight is. They might be after the artifacts for their own reason. Perhaps they've combined forces with the giants for some other cause. Whatever the case, I'm certain that they have their own reasons.
Can you not ask your master? Or former master? Can you not ask the man that you were speaking to through the sending stone?
I can... How would I begin to ask this? Have you been to the material plane recently?
Are they not from the material plane?
I remember him saying something about not being reachable through normal means.
Did the old man say if they're still in the city?
Didn't see them leave.
Okay.
But he assumes the missing people is to do with them, so they must be in the cities somewhere.
They could still be here. We could just ask them directly.
I walk up with a bowl of food. Who's this artist Simber fellow?
Is that a name that's familiar to you, Loic?
Don't think so.
So we have two mysteries on our hands. The missing people. In fact, Shanda is not rebuilding. Oh, 3 mysteries. I can't count. So much for noble education. And this artist Simba. And the Winter Ring.
If you want to investigate about who artist Simba is, you can do, but you don't have... There's nothing that would draw him to your knowledge. Straight off, by the way.
Could I scry for like a random nearby Githyankin? I don't think I can, right?
Not
I have to
really.
know
You
them
need
specifically.
Yeah.
Does it work on objects?
Yeah. You
So
just
I
have
can
to
scry
know
for
the
where
object.
So, well, would it work with the Ring of Winter?
Okay, you're going to scry for the Ring of Winter. You can do that.
I'm still thinking about stuff. Yeah, I still need another day. I need to rest before I can use another 5th level spell.
Could try it.
Well, I can do that.
I head back to the line with my food, and I ask any of the other folks in line, where could a traveler put up for the night?
They share that the local inn is quite busy because of housing people that don't have homes right now. There are plenty of abandoned homes that no one's going to miss if you sleep there. Otherwise, you could try and get a room in the local inn, but it's going to be busy.
Well, we should probably just return to the air balloon, right? Because people are going to be returning there too. We should get everyone else.
Sense. I wasn't
involved.
sure if people were returning to the blimp or if we were going to a tavern. I couldn't remember what we decided.
Last ultimatum I heard was the blimp.
Okay.
There's something Owen would be doing beforehand. Namely, before he makes his way back, he's going to find himself in that sort of camp area in the centre. Is there any sort of local huntsman who's organising foraging parties or anything like that?
Make an investigation check.
I'll let you know off then.
Not that you can see. Everyone in town seems to be focused on humanitarian aid type tasks rather than leaving the city. They're focusing on what they have.
Okay, but not for sort of hunting food for food.
Not
in the surrounding areas.
Not in the area you're in, unfortunately. No.
Alright, don't worry about it then. That's fine.
Cool. Then is anyone else doing anything in the city before you all kind of head back to the ship for the night?
Gideon's probably going to gravitate towards wherever there's the most people and just see if there's any possibility of him being able to offer any kind of aid whatsoever, medical or healing, anything like that.
Well, after a while, you do kind of notice that the people are tending to gravitate near the gate that Lael has set up shop, and you're able to help the food. They don't need any healing, but just being with them and talking with them, you can...
If that's the case, he would probably pull out his lute and attempt to soothe spirits with some music.
Okay. Play a nice little tune that no one understands because you sing in Celestial.
I think Owen probably finds himself back in that area in time to hear that. I think Gideon just see kind of Owen sitting on a crate or something, tapping his toes as he plays.
It looks like everyone's back. Where's Gamel and Aaron?
Gamel and Aaron were with Gideon.
Oh, excellent. So Gideon's coming back.
I'll follow them back.
Yeah.
I'll follow them back to the food. Would the owl tell us or would they tell us what they just found out, or will you wait till you back on the ship?
Back on the ship, definitely. She would let you know that she has something that she's found out, but she'll tell you back on the ship. To which, as soon as you're on the ship, she'll tell all of you in a group.
Okay. So everyone, you pack up. I assume you leave Aluste, Rendell, and Callan there to continue tending to the people.
Yes, and then obviously tell them to come back before it's dark, be safe, etc.
They do. You guys go back to the ship earlier. It's only about mid-afternoon. It's not late in the day at all. But you do head back.
Leo gathers everyone around to tell them her whole ruse of feeding the people, and how she learnt from an old man about Artus Simba, the Ring of Winter, how apparently Githyankin have turned up to the town.
As soon as you say that, Gideon's eyes sort of go wide and he just pulls himself forward. You found them, child. Where are they?
You were looking for Githyankin?
They match the descriptions. Yes.
Why?
Because they should not be here, child.
Are they from where you are from?
Make a history check. Because what you know about Githyankin is a little bit separate from what you know about the situation and this group.
Yes.
You know more about them than the fact that they are Gith.
I wish I could give you advantage, but I can't.
For once, I got a decent roll.
Okay. So, what you know of them, in terms of your world, they are typical Gith. They are an evil race, but they are chaotic evil, in that they do whatever they want for fun. This particular group had been imprisoned for mass murder, effectively. They had been imprisoned after they had been going from town to town, slaughtering people, and then just moving to another group and then just attacking and killing and just having fun. No purpose or reason. In fact, you know that these ones, they enjoyed the carnage of it all. And you also know how they got out.
Okay, alright. They do not belong to your child, and although I do not know where they came from as such, I know why they are here.
Why are they here?
Because of me, child.
Elaborate.
Leo giggles.
It is difficult to know, but I was deceived some time ago. The Githyankin, if that is what they are called, existed in a place between worlds. They had something I believe was vital to Dolara, and I made the mistake of trying to recover it. In doing so, I opened the gates to their world, and the Githyankin appeared in Eberron. We were not prepared for them, and a great many followers of Dolara's perished that day, and their blood is on my hands. I entered that battle with 10 of the Brethren. 3 of us survived. We fought them back, and I believed it was done. And then I returned to the side of the lady to answer for my foolishness. And I found out that we had not just opened a portal in our world, we had opened one in yours. And the Githyankin, a different group perhaps, I cannot profess to understand. But they arrived here as a direct result of my actions in trying to open a portal in our world. And I cannot let them do what they have already done twice over.
I do not know what crimes they committed, but the rumor goes that people are going missing, and they are connecting it to these strangers. Well, one man is.
if they are related to the group I encountered, and I believe they are slaughterers. They strike down life wherever they find it for the sheer pleasure of it.
Well, gotta stop them.
That is why I am here, child. That is my intent. I am here to rectify my mistake.
I agree.
I cannot leave until I have done so.
Shall we rest for tonight? And then, say tomorrow, investigate this artist Simba further, and also try to find out if these Githyankin are still in town, and find these missing people.
We could split into 2 groups.
We don't necessarily need to split. I mean, we could for investigation, but I think these Githyankin sound like they're from another world, and I would not want to face plane walkers.
Gideon does look quite troubled at that notion. Child, I am not at the level I once was. My performance in this form is not equal to my spirit form. And I barely survived the last encounter, and that was with the Brethren. To go after them now, at any less than full strength, I do not know that I will survive, and I cannot ask any of you to accompany me.
Yeah, and you know what? This time you've got us, he says earnestly.
I agree.
I'm grateful, child.
We can't leave Brishanda in this chaos.
I cannot ask you to come with me. This may be your lives, and cannot be responsible for that. There is enough innocent blood on my hands as it is.
I'm not asking to come with you. I'm saying I'm going to root out these Githyankin, and if you want to come along, well, that's down to you.
Child.
You need to stop calling me child. Only my mother can call me that.
In the eyes of the Lady, you are all her children, and by extension mine own.
No, only my mother can call me child, so anything else but that.
Then how would you prefer I name you?
Milady, it's quite nice.
Very well, my lady.
There we go.
I couldn't look my father in the eye if he knew I let these murderers walk free. I'm with you too.
Thank you, Rowan.
What say the rest of you?
Let's deal with these.
Yeah, let's go get them. But it's kind of early in the day to hang it up for the night. So maybe we can get some more done today.
I agree. I don't feel like we should wait another night and another innocent person get killed. I'd rather be out there trying to deal with these now.
Yes, now that I know they are here, I could not rest.
Lloyd, did you say you went to the sheriff? Apparently, the strangers offered aid to the city. It was accepted. The sheriff is the person in charge, and also they should be investigating these missing people.
Seems like the best place to start.
But apparently she's guarded.
Yeah, they don't understand. They don't trust strangers because strangers are causing problems.
Maybe if she knew exactly what we knew about them, she'd be more inclined to listen to us.
Or we can try and set up more food shops via the city using my Illustri banners, and as word spreads, she will know that we are on the side of good.
Where is all this food coming from?
The ship. lots of food on the ship.
We haven't got an inexhaustible supply. I mean, we can't just blanket the city with food.
No, but we can set up at least one more store on the other side.
I too wish to aid the children here, but do we have the time? If they are abducting people as we speak...
Lady Liao can have her entourage set these up, and that's one angle we could go at. There's no reason we can't go at multiple angles and try and investigate. While they're doing that, we can, I can go in, numbers can go in, see if we can get any word, see if we can track these guys down. Gideon, you faced these humanoid gifts before? Do you know any of their abilities? Is there anything we need to know about them? They shape changes?
I shall find a dice and find out.
So, roll me another history check with advantage because you physically actually fought these creatures. Okay. These are extremely dangerous individuals. Like, deadly upon deadly individuals. But they don't tend to fight with weapons. They're all unarmed combatants.
I'll relay that information across.
They also don't tend to... You haven't seen any of them cast any spells, but you've also noticed that they tend to specialize in killing spellcasters.
Would I assume or be aware of the fact that they would be Eberonian in nature, or equal to?
Equal to, yeah. They lie somewhere between Eberron and Faerun.
Okay.
Gamel, do you fancy a trip to the pub?
I would never say no to a trip to the pub.
I find that any best information can be found in the pub. We can speak to some individuals there. We might be able to track down some nefarious goings on. Maybe they're leaving bodies. Maybe we can... If I can find one place where we can find where one of these missing people have gone, I might be able to track them from there.
Sounds like a plan.
Before you head off, Gideon's going to relay all the various information. I must warn you, children, that the technology on Eberron is different from your world. It is more advanced. Weapons such as yours, and he looks at the dwarven smith, are quite commonplace and more refined. It is possible these Githyankin are armed better than you could understand.
But they're still mortal. Whether we shoot them with fancy technology or stab them with a stick, they'll die, right?
I stabbed a great many with Ortus, back when Ortus was in better condition, but yes, they bleed and die like any other.
If they bleed, we can kill them.
Let's go to the pub, but let's go in at different times and separately so people don't know we're together, so we can, see what we can each gather separately without perhaps raising our profile.
Okay. The two of you, if you're going in trying to get some more information from the locals, can you roll charisma-based skills checks, please?
I'm just going to roll up persuasion to chat to people and see if they'll open up.
Okay.
Gamel's a charismatic fellow.
Not particularly.
I suppose too soon.
Right, if we're going to go to the pub, before I've done that, I'm going to offer to buy a round for the entire pub.
Good move.
I think Gamma will have gone in earlier first to sit solemnly and drink a little bit to kind of establish his presence, and he will take you up on that.
You were included anyway.
On that note, I'm curious, didn't we establish that Whelm can drink somehow?
Whelm has a drinking problem.
Well, needs to sing a drinking song and get these people's spirits up.
So,
I'm gonna try
you
that.
do talk to...
Whelm needs to keep his big mouth shut if we're trying not to raise our profile. Having a magic hammer that needs to drink is not exactly laying low.
You do talk to a couple of the locals, and they share some stories that are going on. You do manage to find out that one of the houses not far from here that had survived the attack was the occupants had disappeared recently.
Now, while I'm talking with some people and probing a little bit about these yellow-skinned guys and what people know, can I do an insight check to perhaps get a little below the surface, below what they're willing to share on their own?
Go ahead and roll an insight.
While he's doing this, Aaron's going to check to see if anybody's paying attention to that or overhearing, or if anybody's watching us in general when we're asking these questions.
So, in terms of what, between the lines information you gain, they don't really know or understand what's happening. They believe it's a much bigger problem than the sheriff is making it out to be. The sheriff seems to be trying to put a lid on it. Not so much covering it up, but trying to make sure that no one else is asking too many questions about it. She'll take care of it, kind of a deal.
Well, but she doesn't want to incite a panic.
That sort of thing. Yeah. Erin, make a perception check.
How much did that round cost, anyway?
In the state of the city, it only cost him 40 gold for everyone that was in the pub to have a drink, which is a lot of people.
14 gold.
14, yeah, 1-4. So you don't see anyone that seems to be spying on you or watching or anything like that. No one seems to be taking too much notice of you individually in this town. In fact, they've all kind of warmed up a little bit as a result of the efforts from Leo.
Okay. So, if Gamel's got information on the house, do you want to get everybody else, or would you prefer just to go have a look, see if I can...
Weren't some of us going to go and speak to the sheriff again?
I think so.
I want to go this time with my...
Maybe they go and talk to the sheriff while we're in the pub, and then
Yeah, that's what I assumed was happening.
wait for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully by now, word have spread of the white and blue bannered noble in armor feeding the people. So I'm gonna go up to the sheriff and try and so she's warmed up to speaking to me at least.
Who's with us?
Anyone that wants to come with me can come.
Yeah, Owen's going.
Gideon
I'd like to go
Gideon
with you.
is-
into further
Yeah.
the cause of finding these guys, so he'll definitely be going with you.
I'd like to go with you, but I've been waiting for a chance to do something too while no one's looking.
Okay, so Loic, what are you doing?
During the conversation in which Aaron and Gamel were going to run off to the tavern, and they were all figuring that out, I was going to very, very sneakily go to the corner of the room and sit down and casually pull out my sending stone and impart a message into it saying, "Your kind are in Faerun." Do you know anything about that?
You get the response quite quickly on the stone. Be very careful. They are not normal Gith. They're not from Faerun. I do not know their capabilities.
I was making sure that he was not one of them.
Definitely not one of them.
Alright, off to the sheriff now. Thanks, guys.
Okay. So everyone else goes towards the sheriff. You find her back in the tent. This time she's actually stood up over a map of the area, of the city itself and the surrounding area.
Leo approaches her.
Hello, what can I do for you? I'm Sheriff Duvessa.
Greetings, I am Lestre Torvir. I have been helping your people out by the south gate with some provisions and some food, just some general aid. And I heard some troubling rumors. They told me that I should come speak to you about.
I can assure you we've got everything in hand. Thank you for helping the people with the food. We really appreciate it. But
We're hunting Githyankin.
You know, those yellow things, you didn't know what they were?
Oh.
We figured it out for you.
People are going missing. Are you... Let us help you. We can put a stop to this.
You're panicking. You're afraid you can't stop them, so you're trying to just lie to the common folk.
what? I don't know what's going on. What can you do to...
Gideon sort of steps forward at this. Child, my very purpose is to come here and stop them.
Leo sees her quivering and I guess nerves, and she takes her hands to calm her. She's like, "It's okay. We're not here to oust you. I know that any kind of situation like this could be very, very troubling. I've been in this situation myself, but we are here to help you."
Roll a persuasion check with advantage. Taman, you see that a couple locations around the city are marked off with crosses, and then a couple areas outside the city have also been checked off.
I got a 25.
Okay. She looks around a little bit. You must understand. We got hit hard. We trusted strangers, and we seem to be paying the price for that. Another group of strangers comes into town offering more aid. You have to understand that why we're a little worried about it.
We have credentials, though. You can talk to anybody in Silvery Moon and anybody in various locations, and they know about us. We have credentials. Your strangers, your yellow-skinned strangers, had none whatsoever.
And now
Look, we're part of Luarwar, just like you are, just like your people are.
Okay. If you're really here to help, here's what I know. These strangers, Githyankin, you call them? They came into town, they offered to rebuild, and in fact they started to. But as they started to rebuild, accidents started happening. more houses started to be torn down, more accidents caused more injuries. When I went to investigate why people ended up being harmed in the rebuild, they were gone. Next thing I know, people started going missing. Families ripped from their homes. You should see the mess in the houses.
I have seen them, child, and I will do all I can to repair this damage, I swear it.
Do you know where they are?
Or can we talk to someone beneath you who has a moment to spare to mark locations where they've hit?
I believe I've tracked down their current whereabouts.
Oh.
But I've got no more guard. I don't know what to do with them.
Where are they, child?
She steps over to the map and points to a cave system just outside of the city. I believe I saw them camping out inside the cave in the mountain here.
All of them?
All of them. All 5 of them.
Gideon's hands have visibly tightened on his helmet at this point, and as she says that, he's going to immediately just about face and go straight for the doors.
Lel would like to grab him.
Same.
Okay. Combined, you all stop him from running.
Child, release me.
No, you don't understand. You're gonna get us all killed.
I did not ask you to follow me.
If we do this right, none of us will get killed, and we'll get them. Don't jump into this half-cocked with a lame brain.
We can do this together. Together we are stronger.
What are you going to do?
We are going to check it out, I think, and then we're going to come up with a plan.
See, now he sounds like he's sure he knows what he's doing. You don't, to be fair.
We're going to find them and we're going to kill them, child. Every last one.
And then we're going to do that. But
I'm with
what we're not
Gideon.
going to do, because we have lots of experience in this, given that we've killed demon lords and everything, we're not going to rush in there without a plan.
I can stay hidden.
I don't
reckon
care.
I reckon I can get close enough and scout them out overnight.
Okay, well that's one idea. We also probably have some more. Right now, we know where they are. Let's put our heads together and come up with a series of plans just in case something goes wrong. Because you being on your own, scouting, you step on a twig, you knock a stone over, that's it, you're dead, and then we're one man down.
That's an amateur mistake.
And you're an amateur, my boy.
Not in that. Spent my whole blading life doing it.
I'm quite sure I heard you creaking around on snow.
Yeah, well, that was snow. That was different.
Okay, and this could be magical rocks for all we know. So
Whatever.
we're gonna yes, exactly. We're gonna go away. We're gonna make a plan, and then we're gonna go kill them. Okay?
How are you going to
Takes
make a
a
plan?
long-
How are you going to make a plan without any information? That's what scouts there to do.
Loic, do you still have Eve?
No, and I happen to have already sent my new familiar out.
I tell you what.
Gideon takes a long, slow breath, sort of pulls himself together a little bit, and just begrudgingly looks at Owen. She's right, child. It pains me to say it, but we were caught unprepared the last time and the blood toll was high.
Nothing catches me unprepared. And he sort of shoulders his bow.
Trust me, child,
Says-
these would.
and he's
This
just
isn't
going.
like anything you have ever faced.
He's already walking, even as you say those words. He's just like, if I'm not back at the inn by sunset, just assume I'm dead.
I'd like to cast. I'd like to cast commands.
Piss off.
Wisdom save throw, please.
Is this all coming as a one?
Well, what kind of command are
Stop.
you? Okay. Wisdom save from Owen, please.
I could summon Riker and send, but I'm very inclined to let
Thank
Owen
you.
go.
I'm also going to cast command.
Okay, do it again.
Do I have to use my inspiration already?
What's your command, though?
Gideon's just going to bellow, Owen, hold!
Hold.
Okay. As the both of you both do it, at the same time, your command is the same. Owen's will is strong enough to reject them all, and you're unable to stop it.
I'd like to turn to the sheriff and apologize. We're not usually like this. This Owen kid's new.
Gideon's in that case going to storm after Owen and just try and catch him by the shoulder and turn him round.
What?
Child, and you just see pain in his eyes. Would you have your blood on my hands as well?
This is my decision. You're going to have to trust me.
This is not a fight. And though I appreciate your help, I would not see you slaughtered for it.
Come on. You're really not giving me enough credit, are you? I'm not going there to fight them.
I have seen them fight. I have told you they are more advanced than you know. You cannot trust to what you know.
What is it you think I'm trying to do?
You're going alone. That is enough to concern me.
It's just like, he just kind of like gives a, mate, I'm staying well outside of 1,000 feet from him. You really think I'm that stupid?
You don't know what they're capable of. They could have sensory magic.
Or traps.
And then they catch you, and then they torture you, and even if they don't torture you and they just suck your mind, then they'll know where we are, and then they'll come after us.
Well, it would be better if we send a familiar that would look natural in such a manner.
Oh, and don't listen to him. Go.
Thank you.
These have had days to establish themselves, if not longer. Even I don't know what they will be capable of.
So what kind of chance do we have? Hitting them at all?
It needs to be considered.
Maybe we can go talk in private, not in the middle of the city, in front of everybody, about plans of action.
Yeah. Should we go back to the boat?
Owen just shakes his head and goes in their direction.
Gideon looks significantly relieved at that.
With that, we're going to end the session for tonight.
So did Aaron and Gamble decide whether or not they're going to check out that house or go back to the boat?
It's up to you guys what you wanted to do there.
So we're going to save the mission briefing for the beginning of the next session.
Yeah, I know it's late I know it's late, especially late for you, Aaron. So perhaps we just go back to the boat so we have an excuse to wrap up and not have a split party at the start of the next session.
Yeah, and the next session, it'll start out like a Star Wars, where everybody's around a hologram of the Death Star, all the pirates. Yeah, that's sort of a briefing.
The hologram is Loeb's minor illusion.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys. Well, I'll see you guys on Skype, so see you later. Bye.
Bye.
See you, mate.
See you later.